Muy buenos días, amigos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos, miércoles por la mañana, 1 de mes. Y seguimos acá al pendiente de absolutamente todo lo que está ocurriendo en el veredicto. Estamos en el minuto a minuto. Che, espero que, a ver, que se me escuche bien. Para que voy a revisar esto. Sí, estamos todo bien. ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? Hola, 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 hola. Esperen que voy a poner esto. Acá estamos revisando Estamos hoy en el día 3 de deliberación por el juicio de Johnny y Amber. Acá estamos repasando todavía en el Law and Crime, en el canal, las filmaciones de cuando ellos estaban discutiendo, peleando. Y bueno, vamos a estar hoy todo el día. Seguiremos discutiendo a ver qué decían en el TMC.
And that's their position, but it is.
All right, Matt, let me ask you the number one question. Why was this not introduced into evidence? Or is this just...
No, bueno, ¿por qué ese video no había sido organizado como evidencia? Un beso grande hasta Montevideo. Díganme, por favor, de qué ciudades nos están viendo. Acuérdense que hoy miércoles también a la noche tenemos Vivo. Ahí estamos, prima. Y a medida que vayan llegando, vayan poniendo like. Hay que ver si yo quiero que esto explote hoy como explotó ayer, que éramos un montonazo. Desde Mendoza, desde Barcelona, desde Mar del Plata, desde Flores, México, Barcelona, Paraguay. Espectacular. El video de ayer está procesando porque le saltó copyright por algo y no lo borré. Se está procesando, está editando algo y un pedacito con canciones que tenía que procesar para poder estar público de nuevo. Aguarden un toque que va a estar ahí. Y lo mismo va a pasar con este de hoy. Mientras tanto, mientras que vayan llegando, vayan poniendo like, por favor. Estamos acá al pendiente. Está el jurado deliberando. Ya es el tercer día. El tercer día de deliberaciones. Y bueno, y se acerca el veredicto. Homero se acaba de mover. Siempre me joden con lo mismo. Desde Entre Ríos, desde Puerto Rico, desde... ¿Dónde más? Te sigo siempre. Y bueno, muchas gracias. Muy bien. Bueno, ya somos varios. Van llegando ahí, gente. Vayan llegando, vayan poniendo like, por favor. Y voy a ir abriendo también el otro video. Voy poniendo para tener pendientes. Aquí está. Vamos a tener el de Fox News también. A ver qué están repasando ahí. Saludos de Tigres. Se rumorea que hasta el viernes no van a decir nada. No me digas. Yo no voy a poder estar acá todos los días. Mañana, por ejemplo, no puedo. Mañana, por ejemplo, jueves, por la mañana no voy a estar. ¿Vos decís que van a dar el veredicto hoy? No sé. ¿Hoy también van a haber invitados? No sé. Ayer se sumó Vicky, se sumaron los chicos, pero bueno, no sé si hoy pasará también.
Yes, Your Honor, it's a 700-page document, so I just page 20.
Acá están en Fox News repitiendo momentos clave del juicio. De hecho, pueden tardar semanas hasta que no lleguen a una decisión unánime. Sí. Qué bueno la foto de ayer, dice Ariel. Bueno, muchas gracias. La verdad que sí fue muy lindo. Sí, yo también quiero saber.
490, that would be 3 pages, if that's correct. That's correct. Okay, 492 to 494, okay.
Soy nuevo aquí, ¿cómo va el juicio? Te veo desde Uruguay, dice Dayun Cocover. Muchas gracias. Estamos viendo ahora un replay de cosas que han pasado durante el juicio. Y acá vemos que acá abajo dice Verdict Watch. Esto de acá. Esto es el en vivo. Esto es la cámara puesta en el juzgado ahí. Mr. Gilgalad deja el primer superchat de la mañana y dice: no entiendo por qué TMC sigue al aire. Yo tampoco, es que es un programa de miércoles ese, ¿no? Es lo más rancio de la televisión.
7th of May.
And where were you when you learned that Miss Heard had actually filed a temporary restraining order against you?
I don't recall if it left for Europe as yet. That is the Hollywood Vampires for the tour. So I was either in New York State rehearsing and preparing to go to Europe, or I was already in.
Muchas gracias, María Cristina.
I'd have to check
Muchas
the
gracias.
tour dates.
Ya tomaste el café de la mañana, mira,
Did
Bat
you find
Mike,
out on the 27th or shortly
te voy a
thereafter?
mostrar. Estoy con el café de la mañana ahora mismo. Y mirá con cuál.
Everywhere.
And what do you mean when you say it was everywhere?
Tomando con la taza divina que me regalaron los amigos de HBO.
It was multiplying.
Me lo acabo de servir, así que sí.
And multiplying throughout media.
Yo creo que se va a demorar, no lo vamos a tener hoy, me dicen. Vamos a ver, todo puede ser, puede que sí, puede que no. Quiero esa taza, regalámela. Tendrías que haber ido a la Comic Con y tendrías que haber tendrías que haber estado participando ahí en los juegos de la Comic Con y te regalaban la taza. Dejá de hablar y traducí lo que dice Johnny. Mira, Tatiana, te voy a banear primero por boluda, porque vos no te das cuenta que esto no está en vivo. O sea, si vos te pensás que Johnny Depp está ahí hablando, Johnny Depp hace 2 días que está en Inglaterra. Ya se fue, eso era un replay. Todo eso ya lo cubrimos, ya lo hablamos, ya lo tradujimos. O sea, vos te pensás que Johnny sigue ahí hablando, por favor, dale. Despertate, despertate que ya son las 11. Muy bien, bueno, a medida que vayan llegando, vayan poniendo like, por favor. Y vamos a repasar cositas de lo que ha pasado en los últimos días. Ahí les muestro mejor, HBO. Sí, aparte no sos empleado como... ¿Viste cuando se te meten al canal y te dicen: dale, dale, hacé tal cosa, hacé tal cosa? ¿Pero quién sos? ¿Pero quién sos? Vamos a ver el de la declaración de Kate Moss. Voy a buscar eso, mira. Así mientras tanto vamos a repasar qué fue lo que pasó los otros días. Esperen un segundingui. Acá estamos. Uy, boludo, pero ¿por qué se me traba esto? ¿Qué verga pasa? Tengo todo YouTube trabado. Vamos a ver la declaración de Kate Moss el otro día saliendo a testificar a favor de Johnny Depp.
Would you please state your full name for the record?
Kate Moss,
Ms. Moss, where do you reside?
London, England.
From where are you testifying today, Ms. Moss?
Gloucestershire, England.
Ms. Moss, do you know Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I had a relationship with him.
Did there come a time when you and Mr. Depp had a romantic relationship?
Yes.
For how long, Ms. Moss, were you and Mr. Depp a romantic couple?
From 1993 to 1994 to 1998.
Ms. Moss, did there come a time when you, while you and Mr. Depp were a couple, that the two of you took a vacation together to the Golden Eye Resort in Jamaica?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm, and as I left the room I slid down the stairs and I hurt my back.
How did you...
And
I apologize, Ms. Moss. Please continue.
and I screamed because I was in, because I didn't know what had happened to me and I was in pain, and he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Ms. Moss, have you ever before today testified in any kind of court proceeding?
No, I have never.
Why did you decide to testify today?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right.
That's beyond the scope of what we just talked about.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. We have nothing further at this time. We greatly appreciate your taking the time to testify.
All right, any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you, Ms. Moss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bueno, ahí tuvimos la declaración de Kate Moss, que fue en realidad algo que le había tirado, le tiró a Amber un montón de cosas, digamos, de sus conjeturas, porque todo esto vino a colación de cuando Amber dijo que le había recordado un episodio de Kate Moss al ver a su hermana, ¿no? Creo que voy a poner un poquito de música. Tengo que hacerle un mantenimiento a la computadora porque te juro que ya no puede más. La estoy haciendo laburar, pobrecita. Ahí estamos. ¿Crees que Amber tenga el dinero que Johnny exige por el veredicto y lo va a tener que salir a buscar, Bueno, somos más de 1000. Por favor, todos pongan like, chicos. A ver si llegamos a los 1000 likes. Bien rapidito. Todos los que estén viendo esto, por favor, pongan pulgarcito para arriba. Y vamos, Se te escapó el huevito ayer. Ah, ¿viste el video de Mirada Geek? Y todavía no publiqué el mío. No, me quedé redormido y ahora hoy a la mañana también me quedé redormido. Estaba pero roto. Roto. Les voy a contar un chisme. Yo hoy tenía turno para... ¿Saben para qué? Y van a decir, se me cayó un ídolo. No, no. ¿Cómo pudiste? Me has fallado. Para vacunarme. Me iba a vacunar hoy. Y al final no. Mostró Aurora, no, déjala Aurora, que cuando me venga a molestar hablaremos, ya más tarde va a venir. Mientras tanto, déjala. Voy a buscar acá cuando Amber declara sobre Kate Moss. Para ver. Banquen un toque que voy a buscar el video. Vamos a ponerlos en Spanish. Ahí estamos. Mientras tanto seguimos a la espera de la deliberación del veredicto, ¿eh? Mostrar tu cuarto, dicen. No. ¿Estás en Argentina? Me dice Julia, sí. ¿Qué te pareció Jurassic World? La peor de todas. Así nomás, perdón.
I don't know what else I said, but I was screaming at him because he threw this can at me and everything else that had happened. And when I did that, he bolted up the stairs. And, you know, there's only, I mean, he was up the first flight of stairs. Again, I'm on the mezzanine, which is in between two flights of stairs. He bolted up the steps. And I don't know how he managed to get his hands in my hair so fast, but he had his hand on the back of my head, my hair, and kind of was yanking me down and hit me in the face with this cast he had. I just remember this brief struggle we had before kind of break away. Whitney, my sister, all of a sudden put herself in between Johnny and I. She just threw herself like in the line of fire or whatever. She just all of a sudden was there and was trying to get Johnny to stop. Her back was to the staircase, and Johnny swings at her, and I just see my little sister with her back her back to the staircase, and Johnny swings at her, and I don't even wait for any other, I don't hesitate, I don't wait, I just in my head instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him. And all of my...
Mirá el detalle del festejo del abogado de Johnny cuando menciona a Kate Moss. Porque ellos no la podían llamar como testigo a Kate Moss. Hasta que Amber pisa el palito y la nombra. Miren la reacción de Johnny y de los abogados. Cuando ella menciona a Kate Moss.
I just in my head instantly think of Kate Moss and the stairs, and I swung at him. And all of my relationship to date with Johnny.
Y Johnny dice, sí, vamos, ahora la podemos llamar.
And I, for the first time, hit him. Like, actually hit him. Square in the face. He didn't push my sister down the stairs. And all my time of being in that relationship to that point, hadn't even landed one on Johnny.
Bueno, ahí está la Kate Moss, la super top model. Y después, bueno, ya vimos la declaración de Kate Moss. Le dicen, en algún momento Johnny Depp la violentó, la tiró por las escaleras, algo. Y... no, claro que no. Muy bien. Buen día, María, ¿cómo estás? Y bienvenido al chat. A medida que vayan llegando, chicos, por favor pongan like. Nos aguarda un día largo, una jornada larga y extensa. Les voy a pedir a todos los que están viendo esto que por favor pongan like. Sí, somos más de 1500. Todos por favor pongan like. Y me preguntan, ¿a qué hora es el veredicto? ¿A qué hora es el veredicto? No hay horario. Hola, saludos desde Mallorca. Saludos. No vi el tercer capítulo de Obi-Wan y estoy con esto, así que no puedo ponerme a verlo ahora. Tengo que estar cubriendo esto minuto a minuto. Tome su like, dice. Bueno, muchas gracias. El público pide fotos de Camille. No, sea cochino. Saludo a Guatemala, dice Sara. Saludos hasta Guatemala. Es espectacular la cantidad de países de Barcelona, ciudades de todas partes del mundo que están viendo este directo. Todos pongan like, por favor, a medida que vayan llegando. Bueno. Yo quiero que vean algo más, que quiero que lo volvamos a repasar. Para, banquen que estoy buscando el video. El vídeo. Muy bien. Saludos desde Argentina. ¿Hasta cuándo tienen tiempo para no tienen límite de tiempo?
It feels like the inside.
Ah, no, pero esto ya... Esto ya lo estábamos viendo. Bueno, acá están pasando también un replay. Vamos a hacer nosotros también un replay. Lo más doloroso de todo esto es que él ve que todavía está enamorado de ella. Las miradas que le da lo delatan, es mi opinión personal. Sí. Hay una cosa rara en esta relación, en este amor que se han tenido estos dos. Sí, hay algo raro. Chicos, bueno, bienvenidos a todos los que están llegando al canal y se están suscribiendo hoy. Nada, el canal es sobre cine, cultura pop, series, cosas nerds y lo demás, así que suscríbanse por favor. Saludos de la comunidad Cariolitos, te estamos siguiendo desde un live en TikTok. Bueno, saludos a todo TikTok que nos estén viendo, suscríbanse a Planeta Arcadia en Twitter, en YouTube, por favor. A ver si llegamos a los 70.000 suscriptores hoy. Creo que fue tóxico ese amor. Sí, pero hay algo que Amber dijo que a mí me hizo ruido. Yo quiero que lo vean esto. Pasa que ¿dónde lo había dicho? Creo que había sido en el día 17. Esperen que lo voy a buscar acá, Vamos a repasar la charla que tuvo Amber con Camille el día 17. ¿Qué haces live en TikTok? Sí, se hacen live en TikTok, pero no sé yo por qué estoy ahí. Ella en un momento dice I love him. Exactamente. Ella dice the man I love. Bueno, lo vamos a ver eso ahora. Mientras estamos a la espera de tener algún resultado, ¿no? Porque no creo que...
All right. Be seated. All right, next question.
Good morning, Ms. Heard.
Good morning.
Your relationship with Mr. Depp began in October of 2011, right?
That's correct.
And you previously testified multiple times, under oath, that the first year of your relationship with Mr. Depp was the best of times, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You testified that as far as you could tell, Mr. Depp was sober that first year,
That is correct. That's what I used to believe.
and that the first year was, quote, magic.
Yes, I always estimated it was about a year.
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Ms. Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
And you told them that Mr. Depp was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
That is correct.
That is correct.
You told this jury that quote, in 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns.
Muchas gracias, Colina Ficio. Deja un superchat. Dice, pase lo que pase, Johnny Depp va a poder caminar libre por el mundo y ella va a tener que irse a algún rincón aislada. Saludos desde Uruguay, querido. Un beso grande. Yo tengo familia en Uruguay. Muchas gracias. También dicen saludos desde Puerto Rico, un montón de lugares.
I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing. Master Deputy Halusa, Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, may I please have you show the knife to Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's it.
That's the knife you gave to the man who was hitting you, right, Ms. Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him, that's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, will you please show the knife to the jury?
El cuchillo que dice hasta la muerte.
Thank you.
Saludos
This is
desde
the knife you
Alemania.
gave
Uy,
to the
qué
man who would
lindo.
get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in 2012, yes.
Now, Ms. Heard, I'm going to need to talk to you about what happened in Australia in March of 2015. You've testified that at some point during the incident you described, you witnessed Mr. Depp bashing the phone against a wall, right?
That is correct.
You testified that the phone was breaking into pieces,
I was watching it disappear.
that Mr. Depp smashed it, I think your word was smithereens.
Yes, that is correct.
And according to your testimony, this was a wall-mounted phone in the bar area.
That is correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1820.
Claro, no tiene sentido que si vos tenés miedo de que tu pareja te
I
mate,
believe this has already been admitted into evidence, if we could have it published.
¿le vas a regalar el cuchillo de Rambo? Es raro. A mí una novia me regala un cuchillo que diga eso y la dejo en ese momento. Qué miedo. Obvio, yo
You saw this
también.
photo during your direct examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
But it's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
That's convenient. The pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture either, right?
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
Whoever took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace,
Saludos desde
correct?
Guatemala.
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
No es en vivo, estamos repasando los momentos más álgidos de las declaraciones de Amber y de Johnny. Estamos esperando el veredicto. Todavía está deliberando el jurado,
He
chicos.
did. The counsel listened.
Esto es el minuto a minuto.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821, which is also admitted into evidence? Laws of the state of Virginia that the foregoing is true and correct.
That is correct.
And this is dated
That is
April
correct.
10th, 2019.
O sea, le regalás armas
Now let's look at
a la pareja que
paragraph
supuestamente que te maltrata. Sí, por eso. Si no, no tiene mucho sentido.
specifically line 10. Quote, you write, testify under oath, while he was smashing the phone, Johnny severely injured his finger, cutting off the top of it, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the phone, he held you down on the countertop by the neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not quite sure of the exact sequence of things,
Saludos desde
but yes, both of
California.
those things happened.
Qué lindo, algún día quiero
We'll get to
conocer.
the sequence. And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly
Saludos desde
assaulted you with a
España.
bottle,
No soy
right?
criminalista ni psicólogo, pero su cara y
On the
actitud es
counter,
rara.
he assaulted me.
No hace falta ser
So Mr. Depp was
criminalista
able to
para
get you on the
darse
counter,
cuenta.
right?
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he grabbed a bottle, according
Acá
to
viene
you,
lo de la botella, a ver.
while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking me?
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No, those two things didn't happen at the exact same time, no.
So he's holding the bottle, is that your testimony?
He
While
was holding
holding
my-
you down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
Your testimony is, Ms. Heard, that either he has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he
At
assaulted
what
with?
point?
While holding you down by your neck.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I
Claro.
was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
When he puts you on the counter, does he have the bottle in his hand, yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence. And while he was on 8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the sequence. This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms.
It's the
Heard,
worst thing ever
Ms.
happened
Heard,
to me. I
we're
don't
not
remember
Ms.
the
Heard,
exact
that's not my
sequence.
question. My question isn't about the 3-day assault allegedly that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
Yes,
Okay?
correct.
Let's talk about the sequence.
Claro, sacaba fotos de todo menos de eso. Vos me vas a decir que un
So you
tipo
testified.
te violiniza con una botella,
Yeah.
te lastima seriamente y no te vas a sacar fotos, no vas a ir al médico a conseguir evidencia, pero por favor. Bueno, estoy acompañado.
Yes.
Les presento a Leia.
Copy of day 16
Esta
in
es mi
front of you.
gatita Leia.
Day 16?
Mi princesita.
Yes, of my
Court transcript.
deposition.
Yes. No, of the court transcript from this trial.
Oh.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the transcript. So you testified on page, I'm getting there, 4506.
El veredicto no se sabe, chicos. Estamos a la espera. Puede durar hoy, puede ser mañana, puede ser toda la semana.
All right. Okay. And the reason that we need to go through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
It was horrible. What happened to me, yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now. Apologize. You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
That is
Hola
correct.
desde Bolivia.
Then,
Sí,
directing
soy una
attention
Karen.
to page
Sí.
4518. Line 19.
Voy a volver a poner la encuesta, ¿eh? A ver quién está en Team Amber.
You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519, at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, "I fucking hate you," end quote, right?
Ahí está, pónganse a votar, ¿eh? Los 2000 que
Yes,
están en
he
vivo.
was screaming that, among other things.
¿Te das
And
cuenta
further
cómo
down
sos?
on page 4519, same page,
Salí de ahí.
lines 12 through 19, you talk
Bájate de
about
ahí.
how you watched
Bájate.
Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, "At some point, he's on top of me. No phone, but screaming the same thing," end quote, right?
I just remember the sound.
Sí, es muy
Yes.
peluda.
But you remember, and you testified to this jury, that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
he had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the
Basta.
phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging, by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Hurd, that you testified to this jury, that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted
Bueno,
you.
si hay alguien que sea Team
That's the
Amber,
way-
no pasa nada,
that's the
chicos, lo pueden
sequencing
decir.
in which you testified, correct?
Yo no los voy a
I have
censurar.
never testified to a sequence.
Keep talking about that sequence. Then on page 4521, starting at
No, no
line
es en
3,
vivo esto, es una recapitulación.
you testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Okay.
Bueno, justo ahí me dejo de hablar y se quedan todos callados acá.
Right?
That's correct. That was
Your testimony yesterday was, quote, "I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings," right, Ms. Hurd?
that's what I testified to, yes.
And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Hurd. Your words are, "I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger."
That is what I testified to.
Okay. And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And you testified that your forearms were cut
My forearms and my feet.
and your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Hurd?
I didn't seek treatment.
And the day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day, along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning, so technically that last day.
Dr. David Kipper is Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But
Yes.
he was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you. He was your physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
All right, let's please pull up. Do you remember giving testimony in this case in a deposition, Ms. Heard?
Yes, I do. I've given a couple.
If we could please pull up the deposition transcript, day 2. At 589, lines 6 through 8. May I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, we're going to play Ms. Heard's deposition for the jury. Lines, day 2, page 540, lines 6 through 9. If we have permission to publish it. Excuse me, I'm sorry, day 2, page
Ahí está mejor,
589,
¿verdad?
lines 6 through 8.
All right, if you could just give us a minute to get
Of course.
there.
Ahí se me escucha clarito. Bien.
Page 589, lines 6 through 8.
Did you say 540 or 589?
589, lines 6 through 8.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have no objection, Your Honor.
And he was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
A ver, probando.
Debbie Lloyd also came to the
Se me
house
tendría que
that day.
escuchar mejor, ¿eh?
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Miss Lloyd is a nurse,
A
correct?
ver, ¿qué tal se oye?
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known Mr. Connolly for years at that point.
Yes, that's correct.
Perfecto.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there, yes.
And the day you arrived back in Los Angeles, you saw Travis McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
You saw Ms. Filati's testimony in this case by video deposition, correct?
That is correct.
And you heard her testify that she saw you the day you arrived back from Australia on March 9th, 2015.
I believe she testified that she came to dinner where I was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
So she saw you that day?
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
Okay. And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
I'm not sure if that's what
Sí,
she testified
Chris,
to. I'd
esto
have
es
to
una
see the
repetición
reference
porque
to
ahora
that.
mismo,
You
si
heard her
lees el
testify
banner que
according
está
to her
abajo,
notes. She met with you privately.
chicos, si leen el banner que está abajo, el jurado todavía está deliberando. ¿Cuándo acaba el juicio? Voy a poner un cartel bien grande con todas las preguntas que me repiten permanentemente. ¿Cuándo termina? El juicio ya terminó. Está deliberando el jurado. Y obvio que todo esto es una repetición. Amber no está y Johnny tampoco. ¿Cuándo acaba esto? No hay una fecha. Dejen de preguntarlo porque ahora los moderadores van a empezar a banear directamente y eliminar comentarios de todos los que pregunten lo mismo. ¿A qué hora termina? ¿A qué hora sale el veredicto? ¿Esto es grabado? ¿Entendés? No, así que por favor, chicos, usemos la cabeza.
And this black paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
Yes, I only know that because there was blood as well as paint.
So you took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his fingers, correct?
This was while I was packing when I was leaving.
That's a
when I
yes,
took
right,
the photo.
Ms. Heard?
That's, what's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
Yet you didn't capture yourself in the mirror, did you?
I don't see myself in the mirror, no.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 375. You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia?
That's correct.
This is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking a picture of the writing.
Let's talk about the writing on this mirror. So the writing in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
And it's your testimony under oath that you did not write the red text that says, quote, "Call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe," end quote.
That's correct.
Because if you did write that, it means that your husband was walking around the house bleeding from his amputated finger, and you're writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
Bueno, che, parece que hay gente que se ofende. Que se ofende con mucha facilidad, pero ¿no leen el banner que está abajo? La deliberación puede demorar. Yo lo escribo grande, lo escribo en mayúsculas, lo pongo para que justamente tengas el dato. ¿Me explico? Chicos, por favor, usemos la cabeza. Por favor, no soy grosero. Bueno, yo no soy grosero, pero no, usemos la cabeza. Mira, hay cosas que, viste, la paciencia, todo bien, chiquis. Pero es obvio, el título del video dice deliberación. Por favor, no pueden estar preguntándome cada 2 segundos exactamente lo mismo. Tenía que ser argentino, sí, sí. Pero me encanta lo que dice. No den like al canal, el animador burlesco. Pero este es un canal que me dedico a esto, chiquis.
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song "You're So Vain," right?
I was told that.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the
Bueno, pregunten en el chat, pero yo no voy a responder más porque estoy a cada rato respondiendo lo mismo. ¿Me explico? Ay, mirá todos los que se ofenden. Ay, viene, pero yo los baneo antes de que se vayan. No se sabe absolutamente nada. Es un replay del juicio, ya terminó. Dejen de hacer siempre la misma pregunta. Sí, por favor.
Box smudge isn't in this picture that you took, right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp must have not liked his own message to himself.
Es que en vivo no hay nada. En vivo tengo acá los canales que están cubriendo el juzgado, pero es que no se ve nada. Mientras tanto estamos haciendo un replay. Estamos haciendo exactamente lo mismo. Exactamente lo mismo que lo que están haciendo los canales oficiales. Típico de un argentino, le joden que lo repita. Si yo te digo las cosas 1 o 2 veces, no voy a andar repitiendo. Todo bien, chiquis.
5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me. To avoid working it out.
To escape the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution. No. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when
Gracias,
it gets too
Santi.
fucking
No, no te
hairy,
tenés que ofender.
The ref splits them apart or whatever, but all I'm saying is you have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I'd go split again, I'd go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Pero lo tengo puesto en la descripción del video,
This is
¿no?
what really happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors and 2 bedrooms. Isn't that
Johnny
right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Miss Heard,
that
Miss
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Miss
you
Heard, that's not my question. 5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on. That's what actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Miss Heard?
I was there.
Listo, ahí lo agregué.
I knocked on one bathroom door. I came on the first night.
Ahí lo agregué en la descripción. Es temprano, chicos. No se enojen.
I'm going to move to strike every
Gracias, María Cristina.
one bathroom door.
She's answering the question.
Not quite, so I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
The recording we just listened to, that's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Miss Heard?
I didn't
Usted fue la
assault
que,
Johnny in
usted fue la que
Australia. I didn't
agredió a
assault
alguien con
Johnny
una
ever.
botella.
I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
I have
No le tenías miedo.
a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very
Escuchen.
much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared of him at all, were you?
This is a man who tried to kill me. Of course it's scary. He's also my husband.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do not believe these have been admitted into evidence.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have them.
If we can scroll down, please.
Is this one on the evidence, Your Honor?
No.
Ms. Bretterhoff, if you don't have your microphone on, I cannot hear you. You still don't have it on.
I need to take a look at the redacted. Oh. I need to take a look at the unredacted for a minute, Your Honor. Just bear with me.
All right.
I'm not admitting it into
Saludos
evidence yet.
desde Santa
I would like
Fe.
to just
Okay,
talk to the
yes,
witness about it,
go
if I
ahead.
could. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do you recognize these text messages between you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
He was my therapist that was recommended to me from Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
And you had been seeing him for almost a year in March of 2015?
Uy, saludos desde Punta Cana. Qué lindo Punta Cana.
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
Sí, quiero llegar a ese punto. A cuando Amber habla de las múltiples personalidades de Johnny.
Your text messages are in gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back and
All right,
forth
if you
if
can-
she wants to talk
Absolutely.
about
All right, we'll
moving
pull that up.
unredacted
Sure.
later.
Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Pull it up.
Seeing these unredacted messages, does this refresh your recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Doctor, your text messages are in gray, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.?
Yes, that's correct.
March 8th is the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That is correct.
So on March 8th, 2015,
¿Por qué estaba muteado? Bueno, perdón, no se escucha. Gracias, ahí estoy. Muchas gracias, Vanessa Belén. Dice, Pablo, soy argentina viviendo en Chile. Tu canal es espectacular. Tu forma de comunicar es excelente. Que salgan de acá los ofendiditos generación de cristal a llorar a algún canal progre. Saludos y gracias por tu trabajo. Muchas gracias. Hasta Chile. Gracias por el superchat. Chicos, muchas gracias a los que colaboran con el canal. Muchísimas gracias. Ahora sí se escucha, ¿verdad?
you were in Australia.
Sí, la
That
jueza
is
es Ascarate.
And Mr.
La
Depp's
jueza
finger had just been
Ascarate.
cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Heard?
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny, and I knew I needed to change that. I knew it was, at this point, horrible for me. And I talked to my therapist often about that.
Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted with just Ms. Heard's messages.
All right.
Your Honor, I object because she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Heard that clarify even further, and I also think
Ms.
that
Bredehoff,
Dr. Cowan's...
Your Honor, may we please approach? This incident took place on March 23rd, 2015,
That's correct.
and this supposedly occurred in the penthouse
correct.
at the Eastern Columbia building.
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me, yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
Mr. Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior.
That is correct.
And he had a pin in his finger, true?
I don't recall when the pin was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time. So I don't remember what happened and when
One of those
exactly.
procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger too, right?
At some point, I knew he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage, right?
It was casted.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was able to attack both you and your sister with his hand in that state, right?
That is correct. He had a hard plaster cast on it.
Debbie Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at Miss Lloyd that evening.
Yes, that's correct.
And you put in a sworn statement to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Heard?
I've had several, yes.
Yeah, so you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
You're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
That is true.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
That's correct.
And you're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case?
That's correct.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial?
Yes.
So you heard Ms. Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember. I vaguely sense she didn't recall anything.
So it's your testimony that Ms. Lloyd would forget that Mr. Depp, a very famous patient of hers, threw a can of Red Bull that nearly missed her, according to your version of events?
To be fair, I just don't remember if she said when she testified that she didn't recall that incident or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall much at all.
She recalled, and she testified in this courtroom, that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her. That was her testimony, wasn't it?
I don't recall what her testimony was with regards to that one incident, no.
You actually filed a complaint against Ms. Lloyd's nursing license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Ms. Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath, that wasn't you?
That is my testimony. I didn't even know about that until now.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard his testimony that it was actually you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister. Specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
So it's your testimony under oath. You threw nothing at Mr. Depp. Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny,
No,
to be clear, but not that occasion.
Things that evening.
Not on that occasion.
So it's your testimony, Mr. McGivern imagined that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level down towards where Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to say it about his client.
Ms. Heard, you and Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other messages in that journal, right?
That is true.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 91. I'm only going to be showing you certain portions of this, so if we could please call this Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A. This is the journal that you and Mr. Depp kept with each other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
And if we could scroll through, these are all entries that you made in the journal, correct?
Bueno, vamos a adelantar un poquito.
They haven't given me the pages yet.
Writing them down. Months after the events in Australia in March, so 2 months after, you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney, and I had heard a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
In this first message to Mr. Depp in your journal, you write, quote, "True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and respect. But of course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not. XX Slim."
Yes, it's a love note.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, I'm now going to ask you to take a look at the very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th. That would be April 8th, 2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there, and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would be a couple weeks before your birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following. Quote, I'm sorry I can get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing, felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here, and was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I'm so sorry from my heart. None of this is meant to be an excuse for hurting you. Because the truth is, nothing is. There's never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 423, which is already in evidence. This is a picture of you with what appears to be straight red marks on your arms, correct?
Those are scars from the broken glass.
And they're straight and red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize that, but they are red, yes.
And they're on your left arm?
Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you have a history of cutting yourself, don't you?
I do not.
You cut your arm once as a teenager, isn't that right?
No, I said I wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy, and I said I felt suicidal.
So it's your testimony under oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
Ms. Hurd, we heard some testimony from you yesterday about a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
That was when you and Mr. Depp went on your honeymoon trip, correct?
That's correct.
And that was in July of 2015?
Yes, that sounds right.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence. You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Hurd, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Hurd,
I've seen
I got
this
the
picture
answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You disagree?
he's not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture. That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is Photoshopped.
Ms. Hurd, I have your answer. Thank you. This is the only photograph from our honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A at page 46, going back to the Love Journal. This is a note from you to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
This is a note you wrote on July 22nd, 2015.
Chicos, somos casi 2000 en vivo, por favor, pongan like en la transmisión, así YouTube recomienda más y se suma más gente para estar al pendiente de cuando salga el veredicto o no. Pongan like, por favor, a ver si llegamos a los 2000 likes. Y por supuesto que Amber también se droga, como todo Hollywood, obvio.
This is another note from you to Mr. Depp in your journal, right?
That is correct.
And this one is dated August 1st, 2015.
That's correct.
And you write, "That's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary, magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't have imagined a more gorgeous honeymoon. I love you more and more every passing day. XX Slim." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
Let's take a look at the journal entry starting on page 68. This is another entry from you writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
That is correct, yes.
And this one is a longer one, so let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal. And you write, quote, "I hope that things said in anger and pain were just that, and that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband. XX Slim."
That is correct.
And sad, the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on page 89. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp.
That is correct. The whole book is love notes.
So this is dated August 15th, correct?
That is correct.
And here you write, quote, "My love, why do we fight? Ever? Why? I love you more than anything else. Are we that uncomfortable with being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else? I don't know. But I'm sure of one thing, and if it's that I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I will do better. I am sorry. X Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Your testimony, this was a love journal?
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
apology notes from you to Mr. Depp?
The book was more of a love note book, and part of that communication, obviously, since we fought so much, it was important for me to, try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
And it was also an opportunity for you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90. Here you write, quote, "I'm sorry I shook the wheels so hard. I'm sorry we've tested the shocks and brakes to this point. God damn, I love you, Johnny. I love you. I am tied to you forever. You know that? So I'm tasked with making this work for that reason and many others, of which there are many. Let me try to fix this. Let me try to patch this. Let me try to make your heart better. You deserve it. Hell, maybe even I do. I need you. We need each other. You're my cornerstone, my heart, my all. You are my life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you. Slim." Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix it.
Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing, I tried reading, I tried therapists, I tried everything to fix it.
But yet you couldn't change like you told Dr. Cowan, right?
I couldn't change my relationship.
Okay. Let's talk about December 15th, 2015 again. Erin Filati, your personal nurse, saw you 2 days after the incident on December 15th, 2015. Isn't that right?
She did not see me as in a medical visit. She just dropped off meds in the late at night.
She saw you personally, though, right?
She physically saw me, but did not see me in a medical sense, the way a doctor might see a patient. She did not see me in that way.
She was your personal nurse, right?
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her. Johnny did.
She was assigned to you, and so when she would see you, it would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as like a medical professional would, and then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
Right. You testified that during the incident on December 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence. If we could please have that published to the jury. Thank you. Ms. Hurd, this is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket knife on the bed there?
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Did you use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me. I could feel him slipping.
Ms. Hurd, you also testified that there was blood all over the pillows on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes. That's correct.
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
I did not take a picture of this.
About a week after the December 15th, 2015 incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct? To celebrate Christmas?
The incident was on the 15th and we went on the 23rd, I believe.
While you were there, you did a photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99. This is a photograph of you on Mr. Depp's island shortly after December 15th, 2015, correct?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip?
It was taken on the island.
On that trip?
Yes.
Weeks later?
Weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd? That's your
It's
testimony?
my recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection. All right, 99, we can publish.
Can we please have a zoom in to Ms. Hurd's face? Thank you, Tom.
O sea, esa es la foto tomada en
Let's please pull
Australia.
up Plaintiff's Exhibit 100.
No se le ve absolutamente ninguna marca en la cara, ¿viste? Nada, nada,
I'm
nada.
going to move to admit and publish.
No objection. All right, 100 in evidence, you can publish.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier, and this is several weeks later.
Right. If we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom.
Vamos a hacerle un zoom a la cara. Mira, ahí no tiene ningún golpe, no tiene nada. ¿Eh?
Let's
Absolutamente
please pull
nada.
up Plaintiff's Exhibit 101.
Qué linda foto ponen ahí. Sí, sí es linda ella. Es
I'm
mentirosa,
going to
pero
move
bueno.
to admit and publish.
Any objection?
Ve, mirá lo que está esa loca. ¿Cómo
This
no
is a
vas a
picture from
caer?
the photo shoot, Ms. Hurd, that was
Todos
taken on the
entendemos a
island.
This
Johnny.
is the same photo shoot, yes.
Then no objection, Your Honor. All right, 101 in evidence, you can publish.
Sí, sí, es linda, boludo, la puta madre. Todos hubiéramos caído.
If we could please zoom in, excuse me, Tom, on Ms. Heard's face. It's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you were wearing makeup for this photo shoot?
That is correct. It's a photo shoot.
If we could please pull up Exhibit 102. Ms. Heard, is this another picture from the photo shoot?
I can't exactly tell from the background. It looks like the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being zoomed out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is a picture of me, yes.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help. But I'm not going to object. I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
No objection.
Okay, there we go. 102 in evidence. Can you publish?
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
03.
Ms. Heard, this is yet another picture of you from that Greg Williams photo shoot, correct?
That is correct. This is from the same shoot.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence. Publish.
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face. And finally, if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104. And Ms. Heard, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Again, this is the same photo shoot weeks later.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, 104 in evidence. Thank you.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Heard's face.
De nuevo, ninguna marca. Nada.
Thank you, Tom. You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
No, es
And this all
Australia.
started because you perceived
Esto no es
Mr.
en
Depp
Australia, es la
nodding
isla.
off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
Right. You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Heard?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
You heard her testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct, yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She kind of misrepresented it to seem like that, yes.
She misrepresented it. How convenient.
That's correct.
Okay, and then you kept apologizing to Mr. Depp, right? That's what
No, that's
Ms.
not
Roberts said? Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling at him.
We were screaming, both of us, but I don't know what she would have heard.
And that she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct? In the UK?
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do in that.
And in response to
case.
previous filings, correct? including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is your counsel asks you to respond to things and you put it in a declaration of sorts, and that happens back and forth over the course of preparing to go to trial in that country. And that's what I did.
So that was your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment on Tara Roberts' testimony.
I'll remind you. If we could have Ms. Heard's 5th witness statement from the UK.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 6 of your 5th witness statement. It's here that you describe the December 2015 incident, correct, on the island?
I haven't read through the statement. I just don't know if I had commented on it before in a previous witness statement. As I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct, but what I'm trying to say is
I
I'm not sure if
understand.
I'd describe it in full in this statement.
I'm going to show you your confidential schedule to the 5th witness statement that accompanied the 5th witness statement in the UK.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
In the confidential schedule to your 5th witness statement, paragraph 1 on page 21, you describe Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in the Bahamas of December 2015, right?
That is correct.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
You only submitted the confidential schedule in the UK claiming Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you after Ms. Roberts had said that she saw you on the island chasing, clawing at Mr. Depp. Isn't that correct?
That is incorrect.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 394. So, Your Honor, this is another recording I can represent to the court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's voices. I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit, Your Honor?
394.
394.
I think I have no objection.
All right, I'll go with that. All right, 394 in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I say when I say try and change, I want to say bang or work on blah, blah, blah. I can only do those things. And since I have been doing those things,
What things have you been doing?
working on these things, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change. That's last several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate it. Yeah, you're right. You're right, John.
That fucked him up, you know.
I'm sorry I'm
No, it weirded him out. He'd never.
I'm so sorry I fucked your kids up.
He didn't fuck my kids up, but it was pretty fucking weird for him, you know?
Because I jumped up and screamed at everyone. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm surprised he's so for the counselor. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No, poor kid.
your clever
Something against me again.
comebacks. No. You think you're controlling yourself? You think you're controlling yourself?
Your character has become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me see you even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after having an Ambien and think, oh, I'm gonna just fucking forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross. I am using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if she'd been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of fucking person. No doubt.
It's you and Mr. Depp in that recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah, and Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that recording.
He would often use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our morning recess for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. We'll see you in 15, okay?
Bueno, esta era la primera parte de esta intervención que tuvo Camille, ¿no? Camille Vázquez, que esto fue el día 17. Y ahora viene la parte, ¿para dónde está? Esta parte de acá, esto también es del día 17, ¿no? Sí, sí señor. Bueno, ¿cómo venimos en el chat? ¿Me escuchan? ¿O estoy muteado? Aguarden un segundingui. Vamos a poner de nuevo los subtítulos. Lo que quiero que hagamos hoy, porque todo esto les comento, para los que están recién llegando al canal ahora, les voy a comentar de una forma muy calmada y muy relajada, porque yo soy un tipo, para los que no me conocen, yo soy un tipo muy zen. Yo soy un tipo muy zen, muy tranquilo, yo nunca levanto la voz, nunca me enojo. No, yo estoy zen, ahí como Amber. Y entonces les voy a contar ahora, mientras estamos por empezar esta segunda parte, que estamos a la espera del veredicto. El veredicto todavía no lo tenemos. El veredicto todavía lo está deliberando el jurado. Entonces, esto puede ser hoy para durante la tarde, puede ser mañana, puede ser el viernes, puede ser el próximo lunes. No se sabe todavía cuántos días le va a llevar al jurado determinar el veredicto de si Amber difamó o no difamó a Johnny Depp. Mientras tanto, estamos acá a la espera. Ayer estuvimos todo el día a la espera de alguna novedad. Salió la jueza a hablar en un momento. Esto es el minuto a minuto, chicos. Así que bienvenidos a todos al canal, para todos los que son nuevos. Tanto demora sí, porque el jurado no tiene tiempo. ¿Me explico? El jurado no es que tiene un tiempo límite para determinar esto.
Yes, that's correct.
But you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol yourself, were you?
I did not use drugs when I was with Johnny, like in his presence, aside.
Entonces, bueno, les voy a volver a recordar. Estamos a la espera de los resultados, estamos a la espera del veredicto. Ya esperamos años, que son unas semanas más, y bueno, vamos a estar esperando. Y estamos acá el minuto a minuto. Ayer estuvimos de nuevo todo el día. Yo me voy a quedar acá por si sale la jueza a hablar. Y mientras tanto, bueno, estamos al pendiente de ¿cómo se dice? De todo este repaso. Estamos al pendiente de que salga la jueza a hablar. Y mientras tanto hacemos un repaso de los momentos más importantes del juicio y de las declaraciones más relevantes que tuvo tanto Amber como Johnny. Así que mientras van llegando, por favor, pongan like. ¿Sí? Me ayudan muchísimo poniendo un like. Muchas gracias. Y si les gusta el cine y la cultura pop, porque esto lo estamos cubriendo, porque esta es Amber, que es Mera en Aquaman, y el futuro de las películas de Aquaman también depende de su rol, de si va a estar, si no va a estar. O sea, nos importa porque es un papel importante en Aquaman. Bueno, ahora ya sabemos lo que va a pasar. Sale muy poquito en Aquaman 2, probablemente muera. Yo tengo el anticipo de que Mera va a morir en Aquaman 2 y que la gente va a aplaudir en el cine cuando vean la muerte del personaje de Amber, lo cual va a ser muy, muy, muy duro. Marquen estas palabras, guarden este tweet. Eso va a ocurrir, y si ocurre, qué complicado. Y por otro lado, depende de esto el futuro de la carrera de Johnny Depp. El futuro de Johnny Depp, el actor más querido del mundo, uno de los actores más queridos del mundo. Todo el mundo lo quiere. ¿Quién no quiere a Johnny Depp? ¿Hay alguien que no quiera a Johnny Depp? Entonces, todo eso depende del resultado de este juicio. Si ella lo difamó o no lo difamó. Che, ¿por qué no tiene subtítulos esto?
That is correct.
A ver, aguarden un segundo que voy a ver si podemos tener subtitulaje. Lo tengo medio bugueado YouTube. No sé por qué. Para mí es la computadora que la tengo, pero estallada. Y después quiero que reaccionemos a los TikToks más graciosos de las imitadoras de Amber en TikTok, porque la verdad que vi un par y me llamaron muchísimo la atención. Y vamos a aprovechar y vamos a sacar material de ahí también. Bueno, acá la tenemos a Amber. ¿Qué tal, Axel? No, estamos a la espera todavía. Mientras lleguen, vayan poniendo like, por favor. Hoy nos quedaremos, me supongo que hasta las 5 por lo menos.
All right, thank you. Be seated. All right, your next question.
Vamos a seguir hasta que tengamos alguna novedad, chicos. En cualquier momento que salga la jueza a hablar, yo voy a cortar todo y voy a salir y voy a poner carteles de en vivo. Ahora sí, está hablando la jueza y nadie lo vamos a ver. Mientras tanto, repasamos los momentos más copados de Camille indagando a Amber.
This is one of the articles containing the counterclaim statements by Adam Waldman. Is that correct?
I haven't seen the article yet.
Okay. Why don't we go to page 8 of this article? Adam Waldman, Depp's lawyer, said afterwards, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as a sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Is that one of the statements that you allege are defamatory? It's defamatory?
That's correct.
Okay. Can we please go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 881B? And if we could go to page 10 and 11. In Plaintiff's Exhibit 881B, Depp's lawyer Adam Waldman said the various discrepancies prove that nothing Heard and her friends said about the events of May 21, 2016 could be considered credible. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick, he told thedailymail.com. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911. But even this didn't have, oh, apologize. You're fine. Okay. Page 11. This is another article, Ms. Heard, where you argue that Mr. Waldman's statements are defamatory, correct?
I don't know if this is taken from that article because I can't see the article in full.
It's page 11 of the article. And the statement reads, we have reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Mr. Depp. Is that correct? Is that one of the what you claim is one of the defamatory statements said by Mr. Waldman?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hurd, you're not aware of any career opportunities that you lost as a result of Mr. Waldman's statements, are you?
Well, it's kind of hard to point to the jobs you're not offered,
Right.
to the gigs you don't get.
You were not replaced in Aquaman 2, were you?
They released me from my contract, and I fought to stay in it, and they kept me in it. I just don't know how much I'm in, actually, of the final cut.
And you testified yesterday that L'Oreal actually extended your contract in April of 2020. Is that correct?
In part, they extended it and held me.
And you testified yesterday that L'Oreal extended your contract again in November of 2021, correct?
Not exactly. They extended it because they couldn't use me or any of the materials for me.
And that extension was for 20 months, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you testified yesterday how Mr. Waldman's statements, quote, torture you every day. Do you recall that testimony?
I do.
And then, and that you look at them every day.
I look at the online attacks, the media, you can't avoid it, to be honest, that those statements are often attached to. I don't look at his statements every day.
And you testified that you just want to move on with your life, right?
I do very much want to move on with my life.
But you've gone out of your way to engage with Mr. Waldman on social media, haven't you?
I have made a comment, I believe, once. I would not characterize that as engaging with him.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1266.
It's right there. Your microphone. Yeah. Your microphone.
I don't have this yet, so I'm asking for it to
right
be
there.
given to me before.
It's a photograph.
I think it's just a.
This is your tweet, right, Ms. Hurd?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish this tweet.
I don't check the relevance.
The objection, I'm sorry, what's the objection?
I'm sorry, relevance?
All right, I'll overrule the objection. 881C in evidence.
Can we please have it published to the jury?
I'm sorry, 1266. I apologize.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is from March 26, 2021, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And this is after he made the statements you claim are defamatory, right, Ms. Hurd?
21, yes.
Ms. Hurd, you tweeted at Adam Waldman, quote, "Yes, Mr. Waldman, I may be wearing makeup on this occasion, but on every occasion you will still be short." Did I read that right?
Yes.
We can put this down. Thank you. Ms. Hurd, since your relationship with Mr. Depp ended, you have completed your level 3 sommelier training, haven't you?
I haven't completed it yet.
You're on level 2?
No, I'm on level 3.
You also have had a baby, right?
I have.
And you enjoy being a mother?
More than anything.
You still love to cook?
I do.
And you love to hike?
I've taken a break on hiking for a minute.
You have friends, right?
I do have friends.
And you spend time with those friends?
Occasionally, when I can.
And you exercise regularly?
Every day.
You just filmed a movie in March of 2022, isn't that right?
Yes, the one I just shot in Guatemala that I spoke of earlier.
And you have, you had a major role in a major film that's scheduled to be released soon. Is that correct? Aquaman 2?
As I said, I don't know if I will even be in the final cut or how much I will be. It was difficult to stay in the movie.
You struck Mr. Depp multiple times during your relationship, didn't you, Ms. Hurd?
There were many times I had to use my body to defend myself, and that included swinging wherever I could. If it meant I could get away, absolutely. If it meant a difference between a sore face and a broken nose, you bet I would.
So it's your testimony under oath that you never struck Mr. Depp as the initial aggressor?
Well, he was holding me against the wall by my neck. You know, I might be the first person to have been the first one to slap, which happened in Australia, you know, when he was choking me. But I wouldn't say I was the initial aggressor in that situation.
You got physical with Mr. Depp often during your relationship, didn't you?
I had to defend myself as best I could. Didn't seem to make much of a difference.
You just couldn't control yourself, could you, Ms. Hurd?
I tried to defend myself when I could, but it was after years of not defending myself.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 356? And Your Honor, portions of the exhibit were entered into evidence yesterday, but we moved to admit the entire recording.
All right.
And I can confirm that there's no other voices besides Ms. Hurd's and Mr. Depp's. And I intend to play from 1:29:27 to 1:30:07.
So I have 356A in evidence. Is any objection to the entire 356 coming into evidence?
If you may, if I may.
Okay,
Hold on just for
sure.
a moment, Your Honor. I have to check on something. Which one? Which one is the one that has? The excerpt for now, and we'll double check our notes on that, because there was one that had something in that couldn't go, and I just can't find my notes on that
We'll just call it 356B for now.
That's fine.
and
Thank you,
then-
Your Honor.
Could you just give me the times again?
Yes, of course. 1:29:27 to 1:30:07.
All right, and I'm told that we already have a B, so you have to do 356C.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'm gonna do everything to change. Promise you. I'm not gonna go around divorce. I will not say divorce unless I leave you. Unless it's it. And then I hope you leave me. I'm not going to, and me too. I will leave you. It's fair. I can't do it, you know? And I think, honestly, if we hold each other accountable to that, it's fair.
Ms. Hurd, that's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, correct?
That's correct.
And you told Mr. Depp, quote, "I can't promise you that I won't get physical," end quote, correct?
That's correct. He was accusing me of instigating something in a situation I explained yesterday.
And you also told Mr. Depp that sometimes you get so mad you lose it, correct?
That's correct. I also explained the context of that fight yesterday.
Isn't that exactly what you told Ben King on your way back from Australia? That you get so mad you lose it?
Absolutely not. I know that that's what Ben King testified to, but I never had that conversation with Ben King.
If we could please
In the
play.
meantime, I'm sorry. I checked, and I have no objection to the entirety of 356 coming
So
in.
356 in its entirety will be in evidence. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we could please play from what's now been admitted, Plaintiff's Exhibit 356 in its entirety from 7:05 to 7:43.
I'm not gonna be in a physical fucking altercation with you.
Then don't.
You fucking hit me last night. You fucking.
Or all the other times you split. Come on, you cannot act like that's about that. It's not.
Well, on a plane, I can't split.
No, and you hit back. So don't act like you don't fucking
I
participate.
pushed you.
I'm not going to get into the details of that fight. You and I both know that you split when there is no physical violence involved. And that you do it like at the very beginning of fights these days. And if you split and you go into a different room and you don't actually leave that house, it does nothing but perpetuate the fight. And you don't actually do it respectfully. You don't.
Ms. Hurd, is that you and Mr. Depp on this recording?
Yes, it is.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 343? And I believe that one's been admitted already into evidence.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And just for the record, we're playing from 24601 to 24720.
I said to Travis, I said to you, hey, tell Travis what just happened.
Oh, you told me to do it. You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing. And
You figured
in
it
the
out.
face. And you said, no, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a close
You
fist.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you.
I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you started.
You are such a baby. Grow the fuck up,
Because you started
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had
Because-
to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
That's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, right, Ms. Hurd?
That's correct.
And you said you hit Mr. Depp, right?
Yeah, I had to hit his body to get
Ms.
him out
Hurd,
of the door.
my question was, you said on that recording that you hit Mr. Depp, right?
Yes, I did.
And you accused him of being a baby for not wanting to be in a physical fight with you, right?
Incorrect. I accused him of being a baby for complaining about me hitting him when he was trying to get through the door. I was trying to barricade.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 368? And again, Your Honor, this is a recording of just Mr. Depp and Ms. Hurd. I'm going to move for the entire exhibit to be moved into evidence.
All right, any objection to 368?
I don't think so, no, Your Honor.
All right, no objection. 368 in evidence in its entirety.
It's a shitty law. Anyway, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. After a few times I opened, and you know, you just kept going. You just kept going. I tried to close the door 3 times. You know, please, just don't, you know. And then wait, and then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. I didn't mean to do that. And I bent down, and you either pushed or you kicked. I think you kicked the door open. I mean, the door, yeah, more open, so that it would hit me. And it hit me.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know
It
that.
hit me in the fucking head.
But I did not mean to do that. I don't know what
I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to her. I did not kick a door or push a door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear that I don't even. That did not. It was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes. I reacted, but this whole the door thing. I remember. I never did that. That wasn't on purpose. I might have done it on accident.
Okay.
But
so let's say that was an accident. I then stood up. I don't even know if I said. I mean, I might have said like, "What the fuck?" You know, whatever. Because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of a door.
I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up. And then you fucking clocked me.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing. And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor.
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember. I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry. I hit you. I did mean to hit you, but it was in response. I just reacted in response to my foot. I just reacted, and I'm sorry. It's below me.
Your foot? That was why you punched me.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I.
Again, that's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, right?
That's correct.
And Mr. Depp was hiding from you in the bathroom. Isn't that right, Ms. Hurd?
Incorrect.
Well, Mr. Depp said on that recording, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. Doesn't he?
I don't know if he said that, and I didn't hear that.
And Mr. Depp said, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. He says that, doesn't he?
Correct.
And then you kicked the bathroom door into his head, didn't you?
No, I didn't. And
then you punched him in the
defended
jaw.
myself in that audio. You can hear it for yourself.
Right. And then you punched him in the jaw.
I also did not do that. I tried to make that clear on the audio tape too,
So-
in futility.
So Mr. Depp said, You meant to punch me in the jaw, right?
Are you asking me what he said on the
Yeah.
on the recording? Yes, he said that.
And then you respond, I meant to hit you, didn't you?
As I explained yesterday, I was trying to get him off the door.
And you said, I remember, I did mean to hit you.
Meaning the door. The door was on my feet. I
heard
reacted
this-
instinctively to that.
Yeah, you've heard this audio before, haven't you, Miss Heard?
Yeah, we've already had this trial before.
Yeah, it was played for you when you were deposed in 2016 in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
That's one of the times I've heard it, yes.
Okay. So you've had plenty of time to think about how to respond to this recording, haven't you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, let's take a look at how you responded to it the first time. Can we please pull up what will be marked Plaintiff's Exhibit 1261?
The next thing that I'm going to play to
Your Honor?
you
Okay.
as cue.
All right. Oh, you want to come?
I'm going to read it into the record and then I'll hand this to you. So, I will. So, Your Honor, for reference, and I will provide a copy of the deposition, Ms. Heard's deposition in the divorce. It's page 372, lines starting at line 5 through 377, line 12.
All right, I think,
Okay.
May I approach, Your Honor?
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with permission, may we please play?
If we just get to that page, make sure everybody's at the, oh, could you say the page number again,
Yes,
please?
absolutely.
Page 372, lines 5 to 377, line 1 is what I have.
12, line 12.
All right, please send it.
If we could have a moment, Your Honor, to read it before it's played.
Okay.
I still don't think it's an impeachment, Your Honor, after reading it.
I'll overrule objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. If we can please have it published to the jury in the gallery.
All right.
The next thing that I'm going to play to you as cue. Would you listen to this, please? Let's keep on.
Your Honor, maybe we can stop that. Then they can do they can do it through reading the deposition, Your Honor. They don't need to do that. I asked them to take it off the screen. Could you take it off the screen?
Okay. That's fine.
Thank you.
I have no objection.
Can we please start it over?
The next thing that I'm going to play to you as cue. Would you listen to this, please?
Punching.
Let's keep on.
Where's the desk?
Try to close the door 3 times. Please, just don't, and then wait, and then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I guess I stretched your toes. I didn't do that. I bent down. And you push or you kick the door. I said with the door, get more open. So
But I did not mean to do that.
I was bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to. I did not kick at the door or push the door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear. But I mean, that did not. It was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes.
Okay. So you told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct? Did you say that?
I said whatever I said in that recording. I
Okay.
don't. When you play it for me, it's hard for me to remember every single.
And that's a recording marked as exhibit the punching.
Q. That we just
Q.
played.
Q. Would you continue to listen to exhibit Q?
Are these from the same day?
I reacted, but this whole the door thing. I remember. I never did that. That wasn't on purpose. I might have done it on accident.
Okay. Let's say that was an accident. I then stood up. I don't even know if I I said, I might have said, like, what the fuck, you know, whatever. Because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of the door.
I'm so sorry, I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up. And then you felt the clock.
I remember hitting it as a response to the door thing. That's exactly what I just told us. And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor...
You didn't need to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember, I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean?
The door? No, God, no,
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
So on the tape, you tell Johnny Depp that you did mean to hit him.
And it also misrepresents what actually happened, which is him trying to get into a room I'm trying to keep him out of. And then he runs the door over my toes, trying to get into the room. I tried to push him out of it, which is what the hit is referred to. And Johnny, whenever he was injured or touched, it always referred to it in these ways of punching or clocked or whatever. And whether you discussed it with him or not, the last thing you do in talking to him afterwards or trying to reconcile with him is to get into what the definition of those words mean to him. I never even addressed it. If he was ever pushed, it was a quote. He called it a cold clock. I mean, he's just very dramatic.
Isn't it true?
You're smiling as that audio recording is being played in your deposition, aren't you, Ms. Heard?
Not smiling because of the audio. I'm smiling because of what's happening around me.
You even roll your eyes at one point, don't you?
I was sitting opposite a whole table full of lawyers who were snickering, laughing, and rolling their eyes at me while I was talking.
Is there something amusing about kicking a door into your husband's head?
No, I was rolling my eyes and commenting on what I was experiencing at that time in recounting the story.
Is there something amusing to you about punching your husband in the jaw?
That is not what I was smiling about, and no, I do not think it's amusing.
Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that all you want to do is move on. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, your exact words were, quote, "I just want him to leave me alone. I want to move on with my life, and he won't let me." Do you remember that?
Yes, that is correct.
But that's not true, is it, Ms. Heard?
It is very true.
You just haven't been able to move on with your life, have you? From Mr. Depp.
I'm here, aren't I?
In fact, on October 11th, 2018, you actually commenced an arbitration action against Mr. Depp for defamation, didn't you?
I don't recall that, no.
Your Honor, may I approach? May we approach? Pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 219. And Ms. Heard, if you could please read to yourself the first page of Exhibit 219.
All right.
And if you can also read to yourself the second page of Exhibit 219. Yes. And if you can scroll down, Tom, again, Ms. Heard, just to look at that page. And then scroll down to the next page, please. And the next page. Does that refresh your recollection, Ms. Hurd, that you did, in fact, in October of 2018, 2 months before you published the op-ed in this case, that's the subject of this case, you initiated an arbitration against Mr. Depp for defamation?
It's not my understanding I initiated an arbitration. It's my understanding that our lawyers sent a letter to his lawyers after he called me a liar again, effectively, in an interview.
And that's 2 months before your op-ed that was published in December of 2018, right?
That is correct.
And that's 6 months before Mr. Depp filed this case against you, correct?
That's correct.
So you fired the first shot, not Mr. Depp.
I disagree. We sent a letter.
Thank you. Ms. Hurd, isn't it true that you once filled out a customs form falsely so that you could get...
May we approach?
Okay.
Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that when you left the courthouse after obtaining the domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, you walked out to, quote, a sea of paparazzi and cameras, right?
That's correct.
You testified that you were surprised to see this sea of cameras.
That's correct.
Because it was quiet when you went into the courthouse that morning.
And the divorce had remained under the radar up to that point.
You testified that no one knew about your divorce, so you thought it was going to stay that way, right?
No, I always figured it would come out. I just was trying to buy time.
You knew the media had been alerted that you were filing for divorce, right, Ms. Heard?
No, I just knew that it was impossible to do that privately, so you could just hope it was a matter of time.
You knew they were going to be there, didn't you?
No, I did not. I mean, I assume since it's a public building that there is that likelihood, or not likelihood, but possibility. But I was shocked.
Your publicist, Jody Gottlieb, was there at the courthouse with you, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
So you anticipated that you might need your publicist?
I thought the filing might make, well, I was told the filing was public, that it would be impossible. There's no way for you to do a private filing. And then the second that I filed for the TRO, it would be public news. I didn't expect all these photographers and cameras to show up at the courthouse in real time, but they did.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1280, which is a clip from your divorce deposition. And you have at page, if I can alert you, you have the transcript there, page 74, lines 22.
You said 874?
74.
74.
Line 22 through 75, line 13.
I'm sorry, just 72 line.
74, line 22 through 75, line 13.
Your Honor, may we approach? Okay.
If we could please play and display to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit 1280.
Record is responsible.
Ms. Heard, did you send a text message to Jerry Judge on May 24, 2016, telling Jerry Judge, quote, "I'm desperately trying to reach Johnny. It's extremely important. Please tell him"?
I remember sending the text message that is in front of me right now to Jerry. And I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Ms. Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
TMZ is the same outlet that you released the video of Mr. Depp attacking the kitchen cabinets the day before this deposition was taken, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I don't
TMZ
know how
owns
to do
the
that.
copyright to that video now, doesn't it?
I have no idea what TMZ
Did they
owns.
pay you for that?
I never got paid for it because I had nothing to do with that.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. It is not, that's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not
and
when
years.
you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way.
Right.
What extortion?
Tassa Van Reed's your ex-wife, right?
That's right. She's my ex-partner.
She's the one that you told this jury Mr. Depp was jealous of, right?
Yeah, well, that was 2013 fights around March, yes.
You testified that he tried to burn one of her paintings, right?
That's correct.
You testified he tried to burn one of your favorite paintings that she did, right?
I don't know if it was one of my favorites.
You committed domestic violence against Miss Van Reed during your relationship, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
And people saw that.
That's not true.
And it was covered in the press. Isn't that true?
It was planted in the press by Johnny's team 2 days after I got the TRO. Not coincidentally.
Can you please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1279?
Your Honor, may we approach?
You could please have that article displayed for the witness. This is an article from 2 years ago, correct, Ms. Heard?
I don't know when this
May
was.
of 2020.
That's not when it came out, no. This story started getting planted after I got a TRO, after I got a restraining order against Johnny.
The headline says, Amber Heard
Objection,
allegedly
Your Honor.
struck.
Objection, Your Honor. I think Your Honor ruled she can't say that.
If you want to approach again.
The title reads, Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend at the airport, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's not true.
May we approach?
Okay.
So the article, the title is Amber Heard allegedly struck her
Objection, Your Honor,
ex-girlfriend.
she's already,
Overruled, go ahead.
Thank you. If I may start over. Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend, Tassa Van Ree, at the airport in 2009. Did I read that right?
Yes, this is another example of the smear campaign.
So Mr. Depp is not the only domestic partner you've assaulted, is he, Ms. Heard?
I've never assaulted Mr. Depp or anyone else that I've been romantically linked to, ever.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, cross-examination. I'm sorry, redirect.
Ms. Heard, did Ms. Van Rey come out after that article came in and make a public statement it was false?
Of course she did.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Your Honor, I should at least be.
Overruled.
Thank you.
Of course she did.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the TMZ alerted. Explain to the jury what you meant by the TMZ was alerted.
So when you make these kind of filings, meaning divorce, marriage, things like that, they are public record. And so when we filed for divorce, when I filed for divorce, I asked my team to file in the most discreet way, literally to put it under a stack of papers and file it at the end of day, so kind of had more of a shot of being missed by the paparazzi and by TMZ and those sorts of publicity outlets. I believed that we had been remarkably lucky following the divorce, that it wasn't picked up, and that it gave me a precious few days of peace at that really fragile time. When I found out that they were going to run the story or that they had the information, I was trying to get a hold of Johnny to clarify that I did not do this in a punitive way. I didn't want him to be mad at me. I didn't want him to find out in that sort of context online.
And who had connections to TMZ?
Objection calls for speculation.
Do you know?
I do know. Johnny
Your
and I
Honor.
spoke about
Your
it.
Honor, calls for
Sustain
speculation.
the objection.
Did Mr. Depp tell you about who had connections with TMZ?
Yes, we talked about it. His lawyer, Laura Wasser.
Okay. Now, I'm going to start at the very beginning here. You were asked by Ms. Vasquez about why Mr. Depp won't or can't look you in the eye. And she read out, or she played a tape in which Mr. Depp said, "You will not see my eyes again." Do you recall that?
I do.
And that was during the mediation process in July, correct?
That was
Objection
the
leading.
first one.
Sustained
Okay.
is the leading.
When was this?
That was in July of 2016. That was the first mediation attempt. We met after that, and Johnny very much looked me in the eye.
Please tell the jury about the next meeting after he said, "You will not see my eyes again."
We met in the lawyer's office. They gave us a moment. Johnny kissed me again, held me. I cried, he cried, and then we had a short exchange, and he put a note in my pocket that said, "I'll love you dead or alive, my Slim," with his new phone number on it.
I'd like to bring up, Michelle, if you can, Defendant's Exhibit 1581L. I'm sorry? Oh. Do you recognize this?
Objection, Your Honor.
document?
May we approach?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Could you tell the jury what the coaster was that he slipped into your pocket, what it said?
He said, "I love you forever, my Slim, dead or alive."
And what, if anything, did it have in addition?
His new phone number.
And to be, just so we're clear, On how many occasions in that second mediation did Mr. Depp look you in the eye?
Many.
Okay. And when Ms. Vasquez asked you if you knew why Mr. Depp couldn't or wouldn't look you in the eye here or in the UK, you said, yes, you know. Why? Please tell the jury why.
Because he's guilty. Because he knows he's lying. Otherwise, why can't he look at me? I survived. I survived that man, and I'm here, and I'm able to look at him.
Thank you. You were asked about a bruise that was on your arm from March 15, 2013. Do you recall how long before the picture you had sustained that bruise?
I do.
How long?
2 weeks.
Okay. You were asked a number of times by Ms. Vasquez if you took pictures from your incidents earlier in the relationship.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
It was something I started incidentally. You know, I was commenting to my best friend. I was looking for support from my mom, things like that. There was, I'm ashamed to say, never a thought that this would happen. I mean, not until December and my best friend taking pictures of me to capture it. That wasn't even a thing.
It has been suggested by Ms. Vasquez to you in your questions that you didn't tell anyone about the abuse until the TRO. Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
All right. What if any? All right. Who did you tell about the abuse during the time it was happening?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
That's not offered to,
and hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, it's prior consistent statements.
It's leading, it's sustained. Next question.
Okay. What, if anything, did you tell to anyone about the abuse?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain
Your
your
Honor,
objection.
Your Honor, may I approach?
That's fine.
Ms. Heard, how many people have you shared the fact of abuse prior to 2015?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
How
Calls
many?
for hearsay.
How many?
Overruled.
Roughly about 10.
Can you name them?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I think she can, it's not offered, it's just to show that she informed people before. They're suggesting
Objection,
she
Your
didn't
Honor.
tell
Can we
anybody.
approach? This is, again, an approach.
Now, you were asked whether you had consulted a medical doctor about any problems with your nose, correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated that you in fact had after the divorce,
Objection, leading.
Did you or did you not consult an ENT after the divorce?
Objection, leading.
Did you produce medical records to the defendants relating to this?
Objection, leading
All
calls.
right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you.
It's leading.
And-
Next
and
question.
Your Honor, if we could,
let's,
the
if
witness could be instructed not to answer until I've
All right,
lodged
could-
my objection.
Wait for the objection, please.
Could we bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1077? Do you recognize this document?
My screen is black.
Oh, sorry. Wait.
Yes, I do.
And could you tell us what it is?
That's what my ENT, the ears, nose, and throat doctor, told me was
Objection, Your Honor.
the
Hearsay.
damage.
All right, when there's objection, please stop talking. Thank you. All right, I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay.
Okay. What, if any, you were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true or false?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Your Honor, she absolutely did that.
It's leading. It is leading question, though. I'll sustain the objection as to leading.
What, if anything, did you do to produce medical records to the defendant, to the plaintiff in this case?
I turned over all of my devices, and they had Johnny's team had a third party or someone they selected as a third party go and pull all relevant documents from those devices, which I handed over.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe, maybe.
Objection,
many
Your
more.
Honor. Lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And what, if anything, did you produce to the plaintiff in connection with your consultation with an ENT specialist relating to your nose?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
Foundation, hearsay.
What, if anything? It's not the cure-all. It's sustained.
When did you see an ENT specialist?
2017 or 2016 or 17.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
No, I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, production did you make to the plaintiffs of your medical records with the ENT?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
If you only have foundation.
Do you know whether the medical records from your EMT were produced in discovery in this
Objection,
case?
Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
I'm
I'll
asking.
overruled if she knows.
Thank you.
Yes.
And do you recall? I'm trying. What, if anything, did the medical records reflect about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury.
I have
I'm going to
a bunch of
object
scar
to
tissue.
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation
Overruled.
and improper expert opinion.
Well,
She can certainly testify too.
we'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a significant amount of scar tissue in my nose.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, difficulty do you have breathing?
Objection, leading.
What, if anything? And that does cure on
No,
it.
it doesn't, but I'll overrule the objection.
Thank you. Do you remember the question?
I have a significant amount of trouble breathing at night, and I've been putting off having surgery for it.
Now, you were asked about December 15, 2015, and Ms. Vasquez suggested that you did not report the abuse or the injuries to Aaron Falati. Do you recall that
Objection,
question?
Your Honor, leading.
Your Honor, I'm entitled to go into what Ms. Vasquez asked.
The objection is leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Did you report, what, if anything, did you report to Aaron Falati about the abuse you sustained on 12/15/2015?
Objection, leading and hearsay.
Approach.
Muy bien, amigos. Hola, 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 hola. Uy, estoy a oscuras. Siguen ahí deliberando. Esto es una cosa que, muchachos, estaba investigando recién y me estaba fijando hasta cuánto vamos a tener con esto. Y estaba viendo por ahí de que hasta el lunes no va a haber información. Ah, me asusté, perdón. Esto es en vivo. No, el que está en vivo soy yo ahora mismo. El veredicto lo estamos esperando todavía. Es el tercer día en el que el jurado está deliberando. Saludos desde Montevideo. Hola, Carlos. No, no es en vivo lo que estamos viendo. Yo estoy en vivo. Hola, yo sí estoy en vivo. Sí, Isabel, yo estoy en vivo, pero en la grabación no. No me fui a dormir, me fui a almorzar. Esto está peor que el juicio de los... Sí, es que no termina más. No termina más. Vamos a ponerle un poco de onda igual. Yo diría que nos vamos a quedar un rato más. No creo que hoy tengamos veredicto, chicos, ¿eh? Esto viene muy lento. Muy lento viene. Nos vamos a quedar igual, pero... Consideren... lo que les estoy diciendo. Claro, Johnny no estaba presente en el veredicto. De hecho, Johnny está de joda en Reino Unido. Claro, esto va para largo, chicos. Así es, va para largo. Yo lo que tengo pensado es prender un directo de última en el momento que tengamos la sentencia. ¿Qué dice la defensa sobre el jurado? No se sabe. Yo voy a adelantar esto de acá.
About the injuries you sustained.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
It's prior consistent statements.
Sí, mejor que disfrute, Johnny, tal cual. Ya demasiado mal la estuvo pasando.
Do you recall Dr. Laurel Anderson testifying that she saw two black eyes
Objection,
on
Your Honor.
12/17?
Leading.
Mrs. Dane is leading.
What, if anything, do you recall from Laurel Anderson's testimony in this case about what she observed on 12/17/2015?
Objection, Your Honor. This is outside the scope of cross-examination.
It's prior consistent statements.
I'm going to sustain the
It's
objection.
observations
I'm
from the
gonna
12/17, the same day.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
May I approach?
Okay.
When in December did you see Dr. Laurel Anderson?
Objection, lack of foundation.
Overruled.
I saw her 2 days after the attack.
So on what day did you see her then?
That would have been the 17th of December, 2016, and I told her what happened.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
No, sustain the objection.
And when did you see Dr. Connell Cowan?
I saw him the next day, December 16th is my best recollection.
Let's jump to East Asia for a moment. And we saw a number of pictures from the backless dress. What, if any, motivation would you have to claim that Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back, knowing you had a backless dress?
Objection, Your Honor.
I
Leading
think I can bring
calls
that
for
out.
speculation.
It's still leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Why did you say that Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back in East Asia?
In the closet of the hotel room in Tokyo, I said that because it happened to me. And it would have been much more convenient if I was making it up to not include that detail, knowing I had a backless dress and I walked a press line and got photographed.
Now, we've heard testimony about Mr. Depp making a total of $65 million in 2015 and 2016 from his experts.
Objection, Your Honor.
Why
leading
I haven't asked the
hearsay?
question.
I mean,
why did you not ask for $32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Your Honor, leading.
I said, why did you not ask?
Relevant.
I'll sustain the objection. Sustain the objection to leading. Next question.
Why, can I just ask, why did you not ask for $32.5 million from Mr. Depp?
Because I didn't want
Asked and answered, relevance.
Oh, overruled, go.
Because I didn't want it. I realized that that's what I was entitled to, but I didn't want it. That simple.
Bueno, ahora sí. Voy a quitar esto y vamos a ver otra cosa, porque si no nos pegamos el embole de nuestras vidas, chicos. Ahí estamos. Y la onda es que por lo menos nos entretengamos un rato. Que estoy chequeando la información a ver si es verdad y está confirmado que no vamos a tener sentencia ni veredicto hasta el día lunes. De ser así, no sé si da para que estemos absolutamente todos los días a la espera. Pero bueno. Mientras tanto, les voy a pedir a todos los que están viendo esto que por favor pongan like, que se suscriban. Si les gusta el cine, la cultura pop, las cosas nerds, por favor, suscríbanse a este canal, que voy a estar hablando más tarde de la serie de Obi-Wan Kenobi, del tráiler de Pinocho. A la noche voy a tener un vivo, el de Pinocho, la live action, la nueva de Disney. Voy a estar a la noche haciendo un vivo como todos los miércoles, hablando de las noticias del mundo del cine y de la cultura pop. Y por supuesto repasando todo esto que estuvimos viviendo de Johnny y Amber. Así que por favor suscríbanse al canal y activen la campanita. Es muy, muy, muy importante que activen la campanita, porque si no YouTube te esconde, ¿viste? No te notifica de los videos, no te avisa de nada. Así que porfa, suscríbanse y nos vemos en todos los demás vivos y en los próximos videos que voy a estar subiendo. ¿Vieron que el hada madrina nueva de la película nueva de Pinocho? Yo también. No hice video todavía. ¿Vieron lo de Obi-Wan, la polémica con el tweet desde la cuenta oficial de Star Wars? Yo también lo vi. Así que voy a hablar de eso, voy a estar hablando de eso. Bueno, a ver qué nos dicen mientras.
What did each side look for in a juror? Do you think they tried to find people that didn't know Depp? Is that even possible? Because Depp is just like, right, a figure in pop culture, at least for anyone born, you know, before 1995. I don't know, you know?
I don't know. I mean, I'll just tell you, I don't want to date myself here. But when I was a kid, okay, my mom loved 21 Jump Street and would say, I grew up in Cincinnati, so mom would always say, well, you know, this Johnny Depp, and she would make a remark about Johnny Depp and say, he's from Kentucky. So, okay, fine. So, that tells you, you know, how long I was a kid and I knew who Johnny Depp was. But I can tell you, I've not ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and I know that all these fans are, I'm going to probably get haters now. Don't hate on me. I'm a busy lady. I work in news.
That's the thing. I also know Johnny Depp, like Edward Scissorhands, you know?
Bueno, están hablando de cuándo lo conocen a Johnny Depp, ¿no? ¿Ustedes cuándo lo conocieron a Johnny Depp? Yo lo conocí con Edward Scissorhands, con el joven Manos de Tijeras. Y lo amé inmediatamente.
The Caribbean movies. I'm going to put that out there. That said, I wasn't in the courtroom. It was very crazy for jury selection, so getting in was not easy, and you couldn't get into the overflow, and it was not fun. I think we were only allowed in the overflow that day, and I couldn't get in. I do know for a fact they asked, I was told they asked, do you know who Johnny Depp is? And Johnny Depp put his, or all the jurors said yes, or whatever. They all said, yeah, we know who he is. They said, do you know who Amber Heard is? And I think like a couple I was told.
Se ve chafa, dicen. ¿Dónde se ve chafa? ¿Qué se ve mal? ¿Se ve mal la transmisión? ¿No me están viendo en HD? ¿Para qué me voy a prender la otra luz? A ver.
So I do know that the jury was made up of, and you have to keep in mind too, this is not top of mind. They might know who Johnny Depp is.
A ver ahí.
Case was not top of mind, I don't think.
Anda bien.
In Fairfax County.
También con manos de tijera. Ah, que el live action se ve chafa. Ah. Lo de Pinocho no lo vi todavía. Voy a hacer la video reacción después. Y voy a también hacer video de lo de Obi-Wan. Yo en Pesadilla de Elm Street, claro, yo esa la vi después. Yo vi primero el juego de manos de tijera cuando era chiquito y la de Freddy la vi por ahí un poco después cuando arranqué a ver más películas de terror. Que fue su primer papel, pero sí, fue ahí nomás también. En Freddy 1, el novio de la protagonista. Jesús Barrero hizo el doblaje, la voz de Seiya. Y bueno, y tantos otros. Buenas tardes desde Madrid. Un abrazo grande. Bueno, chicos, acá están las chicas del canal Law and Crime diciendo, ay, ¿te acordás de Johnny en 21st Jump Street? Ay, sí, qué lindo que era. Ay, ¿te acordás de cómo se llama? Cry Baby. Bueno, si estaban ahí hablando de cuando lo recordaban a Johnny, están estirando el chicle como acá, como estoy haciendo yo ahora acá. Se escucha audio de fondo. ¿Qué audio de fondo? Bueno, pero es que está puesto a propósito para que se escuche de fondo. Ahí está, ¿ves? Ahora ahí quedó la música nada más. Hola desde La Pampa. Qué lindo La Pampa. ¿Cómo me iría? ¿Cómo me iría un tiempo? Hay unas partes en la provincia de Buenos Aires que... Te juro, boludo, son lo más. Las pampas bonaerenses. Che, Pablo, ¿se define hoy o puede seguir? No sé, antes cuando no se veía la pantalla, no era un error, estaba de fondo el canal de Law and Order con las chicas hablando.
There's rebuttal time wisely, but I thought that was probably one of the best moments in the trial for Rottenborn was his close, his 7-minute rebuttal time. He was succinct, he was short, and he made points.
Yeah, I mean, and also to your point about the judge keeping time limits for the rest, it's always good for the media and the viewer.
Van a demorar un rato más. Seguimos. Hola desde Uruguay, me dicen. Che, ¿sabes qué? Voy a aprovechar que estamos y me voy a arreglar un poco la cámara, porque está como se ve como raro, ¿no? Como con los colores lavados. ¿Te puedo ayudar en algo? ¿Te puedo ayudar en algo? Bueno, a ver, mira, me voy a arreglar un poco, porque esto está como el culete, me parece. Me molesta que no se vea. Necesito iluminación de acá arriba. Voy a poner un poquitín más de brillo. Un poquito de esto. Un poquito menos de esto. Ahí va queriendo. Ahí va queriendo, ¿no? Ahí va queriendo. Perfectópolis. Ahí se ve bastante mejor, che. I like. Muy bien, chicos. Bueno, seguimos a la espera. No dieron el veredicto. No. Vean lo que tengo acá puesto en el graph, chicos. Lamentablemente, el jurado sigue deliberando. ¿Qué querés, gorda? Pará un poco. ¿Qué? Saludos de Río Negro, sí. Saludos hasta Río Negro también. Saludo grande. Ya no dieron el veredicto todavía. Justicia para Amber, pide Ramírez. Bueno, hay chicos que... Hay gente que todavía es Team Amber. Vamos a ver cómo viene la encuesta. Bueno, para un poco, gorda, para un poco. Para un poco, gorda, gordolfa. Bien, che, gracias a todos los que se están suscribiendo al canal, sean todos muy bienvenidos. Gracias por suscribirse, che, estoy... ¿Qué querés, boluda? Te subí a uno recién, ¿qué querés? No sé qué quiere, amor quiere. Ay, mi tesoro, qué hermosa, es una mimosa, es súper mimosa. Se llama Aurora y es la bella durmiente. Salvo cuando se despierta y empieza a reclamar cariño. Y me llama y me pide como pidiéndome algo y no sé qué es. ¿Viste como Homero cuando dice el gato quiere algo y no sé qué es? ¿Tiene hambre? No tiene hambre, si tenés comida. ¿Qué querés, amor? Ganas de jugar. ¿Cómo pusiste la encuesta? ¿Qué haces, Valen? Metete. Si están en vivo. La encuesta la puse directo en YouTube. Un aplastante 98 contra un 2%. Bueno, ayer fue 99 y un 1% Amber, decía. ¡Hola!
Hola.
Para que me voy a poner los cascos, así te escuchamos bien.
Vine a la clase de cómo se ponen las encuestas.
Ahí estamos, para que voy a silenciar esto así. Ahí está, ahora no te escuchas con eco y se escucha bien. ¿Cómo estás, Valen? Bienvenida.
Gracias por esta inclusión extraña e improvisada. Estaba acá repasando unas cosas de la charla que tengo que dar mañana y te estaba escuchando y digo, bueno, me meto 5 minutos antes de ponerme a grabar.
¿Qué charla tenés que dar mañana?
Mañana doy una ponencia para Students for Liberty Madrid sobre feminismo desigual. Así que nada, vamos a estar hablando de
feminismo desigual.
Exactamente, vamos a hablar de las desigualdades que fomenta el feminismo, básicamente.
¿Y hay un feminismo igual?
Yo creo que no, pero bueno, va a ser uno de los puntos de debate de mañana, supongo.
Ah, bueno. ¿Sabes que ayer debatíamos a la tarde un rato con Vicky y medio como que en un momento, nada, nos tensamos un poco porque yo le empecé a decir que tengo amigas feministas que son gente de bien.
Sí, pero...
O sea, como que existen las feministas copadas. Y el otro día te quería preguntar eso.
Uy, un momento. Que se me
¿Qué pasó? Uy, se le hirvió la leche. Bueno. Se nos fue, ahí vuelve Valentina. Algo ocurrió, llegó el Uber.
Sin acordarme que tenía yo leche calentándome para un café.
Yo dije, se le hirvió la leche. Porque uno sale corriendo así cuando explota.
Sí.
Dios mío.
Tal cual. Uy, ¿cómo estamos? Bueno, perdón. Sí, yo también creo que existen feministas buena onda, con buenas intenciones, etc. Ahora, podemos hablar de si hay feministas buenas o si hay feminismo bueno. Son dos debates diferentes para mí. Feminismo bueno yo creo que no hay, pero sí creo que hay feministas buenas, porque son feministas desde la buena intención, aunque sean en parte, bueno, por la ignorancia también. Sí que existen feministas que son feministas y se atribuyen esa etiqueta con buenas intenciones, con ganas de hacer algo bueno.
Claro, como que no lo... y que aparte no se identifican con la hegemonía de, por ejemplo, las kirchneristas acá en Argentina.
Exacto.
O, por ejemplo, yo con algo que... Hay algo que siempre me causó muchísima gracia, que son las feministas maradonianas.
Es verdad, existe ese subtipo en Argentina.
Es como todo bien, yo entiendo si sos fanático del fútbol y te gusta Maradona, pero no podés llamarte feminista y decir, no, pero el Diego está bien, que se coja pendejas porque el Diego... Y es como, no...
Sí, son cosas que pasan en el
o golpearlas o esas cosas, pero bueno, sí, ahí hay muchas incoherencias, pero hay gente muy piola también. Escúchame, te voy a explicar esto. Abrite la pestaña de YouTube Y cuando estás en el chat,
Sí,
igual tendrías que estar en vivo para ver tu
Claro.
chat en vivo.
lógico.
Abajo, como al lado de donde está, por ejemplo, vos te metés, para que me voy a meter yo al
Me lo
mío, que no sé
imagino, no
dónde
te
lo dejé. Al lado donde está tipo el simbolito del superchat,
Sí.
está el botoncito como para crear una encuesta.
Ok. Voy a probar la próxima, ¿eh? Me hubiera venido muy bien. Recién,
para
no
ver.
sé si te llegó alguien de parte del directo que estuvimos haciendo recién con Lada y conmigo, que también
Sí.
estuvimos hablando de lo del veredicto de Johnny y Amber, pero bueno, tampoco teníamos un montón de cosas que comentar y como todavía no está, lo dejamos más cortito. Y mandamos a la gente a verte acá, pero claro, como no es Twitch y no se puede hacer una raid como tal, la gente tenía que ir manualmente.
Bueno. Gracias igual. No vi ninguno justo en el chat identificarse, pero bueno, espectacular. Gracias por haberse pasado. ¿Qué estuvieron también analizando ahí con la?
Sí, estuvimos viendo las novedades que hay, cómo es el formulario que se les pide completar al jurado, cuáles son las preguntas que hacen, etcétera. Hablamos también de cuáles son las posibles conclusiones, de que también se puede llegar a desestimar el caso, y ya está, y a tomar por culo, lo cual sería un poco...
Los dos, tipo, o sea, no gana ninguno.
No gana ninguno, se desestima y ya está. Y luego si alguien si quiere alguna de las partes puede intentar reabrir el caso de vuelta, pero dale.
Ay, no.
6 semanas para esto, millones invertidos y no, para volvernos a casa como si nada. Sería la
Dios
peor de
mío.
las conclusiones.
¿Vieron lo del titular? Lo del artículo de que ahora parece que
va sobre
la
el titular.
la difamación está en el titular y no en la nota.
Sí, que tienen que analizar el titular. Y vimos, no sé si te enteraste, pero supongo que sí, que la ACLU denunció a Johnny.
Vi algo de una publicación de la ACLU, pero no llegué a ver qué era. ¿Lo denunciaron a Johnny?
A Johnny. Por todos los costes y el esfuerzo y el no sé qué y no sé cuánto de haber tenido que ser forzados a testificar en el juicio. Johnny, la defensa de Johnny había pedido los papeles estos para ver las donaciones y tal, y de cuánto eran y cuándo se habían hecho, etcétera, más de 6 veces de forma voluntaria. La ACLU les hizo en todas y cada una de ellas. Y finalmente la defensa de Johnny se lo tuvo que exigir a un juez, que por favor le pidiera que por favor presenten eso por la fuerza. Lo terminaron presentando por la fuerza, terminaron testificando por la fuerza y ahora lo demandaron por, creo que era $86,200.
Bueno, para Johnny es...
Una propina. Yo digo,
Toma.
los abogados me cuestan más caros. Voy, me defiendo yo, pierdo, les pago y ya está. Y me voy a mi casa.
Claro. Mira qué grande. Andrés dice, yo sí vine de parte de Valentina. Qué grande.
Sí, Andrés.
Qué grande. Bienvenido. Dice... bueno, está bien. Sí, eso... Yo lo que pensaba ayer era que si se descubre que el encabezado es lo que tiene la difamación... Tranquilamente Amber dice, no, bueno, entonces la difamación no estaba en mi carta, estaba en el título, que el título lo puso alguien del diario, y esto puede dejarla a ella como no culpable.
Claro, pero bueno, también es verdad que existe el tema de la republicación. El hecho de que ella agarró ese artículo en lugar de decir, che, yo no quiero que tenga este título. Lo agarró como estaba y lo publicó ella en su Twitter diciendo, miren esto que escribí, qué hermoso.
Ok. El hecho de haberlo reposteado también implica, entonces.
Sí. Que claro, y a esa es una diferencia, porque si ella simplemente lo hubiera retuiteado sin ningún comentario, no se entiende como que no está pretendiendo llegar a audiencia nueva, etcétera, no se concibe como republicación. Pero al ella citar el tweet y poner, no sé, no me acuerdo qué había puesto, pero tipo, vayan a ver esta nota que publiqué en The Washington Post, bla, 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 sí que está dándole el ok, de alguna manera, a ese titular.
Ok. Hay que ver entonces, porque por otro lado también me informé, porque habíamos visto que tal vez, viste, cuando llegue la decisión del jurado, la jueza por ahí también desestime todo, pero parece que no es tan así, que la jueza lo que puede hacer es determinar la gravedad, digamos, de la potencia de la sentencia. Por ejemplo, que en vez de que Johnny le tenga que pagar 100, sea menos o sea más. O sea, modificar por ahí la intensidad de la sentencia final, pero que ella no podría decir, no, bueno, si el jurado decide Amber, yo puedo decidir Johnny.
Yo creo, no sé, la verdad es que no me atrevería a decirte sobre eso porque yo por lo que había entendido, la última palabra sí la tiene la jueza. O sea, se valora que el jurado sea el que tenga la decisión final, pero si la jueza lo ve que no tiene ningún sentido, puede decir, che, no, miren, acá manda mi coño y digo esto. Puede ser. No sé.
Che,
la
pará
verdad
porque
no tengo
quiero...
idea.
Ahí está. Ahí tenemos un poquito de imágenes. ¿Sabes qué? Te voy a preguntar lo mismo que le pregunté ayer a Vicky y a Tipito. Quiero saber tu opinión. ¿Qué puede cambiar según el resultado de esto? Por ejemplo, para movimientos como el Me Too o toda esta cuestión de el yo te creo, el Believe All Women, el yo te creo hermana. ¿Vos creés que el movimiento feminista en general va a ser golpeado o que se puede llegar a transformar en otra cosa?
Mira, yo en general siempre tengo perspectivas bastante optimistas respecto a todo lo que me preguntan. Entonces yo sinceramente sí creo que esto hace una diferencia dentro del movimiento feminista, incluso feministas que buscan desmarcarse de aquellas feministas que todavía siguen defendiendo a Merkel, por ejemplo. Pero yo creo que va a tener más efecto, en el lugar donde más efecto va a tener, va a ser en las acusaciones a personalidades famosas. Que el tema Me Too va a ir en decadencia con esto, ya estaba yendo, pero con esto más todavía. Porque cada vez, a partir de ahora, cada vez que se acuse a un tipo únicamente con esto, con una acusación, sin una evidencia palpable, la gente se va a acordar del caso de Amber y Johnny. La gente va a seguir diciendo, ¿te acordás de lo que pasó con Johnny Depp? Y la gente se va a plantear 2 veces antes de defender o no. Sobre todo los grandes medios de comunicación, las productoras cinematográficas, etcétera. Una persona por Twitter, bueno, no tiene nada que perder a la hora de poner tal es culpable, tal es inocente. Pero los que sí tienen algo más que perder, yo creo que no se van a arriesgar a tomar estas decisiones tan a la ligera.
Claro, aparte de echarse en contra a uno de los tipos más queridos del mundo. Justo, sí. No es cualquiera. No es Kevin Spacey que de última, bueno, tampoco es tan querido como Johnny Depp. Era respetado como actor, pero Johnny es querido, tiene fans.
Sí.
Es otra cosa.
De Piratas del Caribe en la puerta de la corte, ¿lo viste eso?
No. Wow,
sí.
Qué flash.
Una carroza que creo que al final se terminó llevando la grúa.
Bueno, se lo llevaron a los piratas. Sí. Escúchame, ¿y si gana Amber?
Y si gana... Uf. Mirá, es que no he dedicado ni un minuto a pensar que eso pueda pasar, sinceramente.
Es que no puede pasar.
Puede pasar.
La posibilidad existe.
Tan poco imparcial con este caso. Y cada vez yo vengo tratando este caso desde hace más de 2 años y siempre que hablo de este caso digo, yo no soy imparcial. Si buscan imparcialidad no la van a encontrar en mí. Entonces, claro, estoy tan convencida de que no puede salir perdiendo Johnny, que realmente no me he detenido a pensar en qué puede pasar a efectos sociales y en efecto gana Amber. Para empezar, yo creo que va a haber una respuesta social de enfado muy, muy, muy grande. Que la gente va a estar muy enojada y se va a notar enojada. Y ahí, y te digo, si gana Amber, ahí se le va a perder mucho respeto a las instituciones y a la justicia, creo. La gente que ha visto todo este juicio que ha estado televisado, todo, no sé hasta qué punto le puede llegar a venir bien.
¿Sabés que leí a una feminista que defiende a Amber a escribir un artículo en una revista diciendo que si Amber llega a ganar, va a ser peor para ella? Y tiene razón, me parece. Porque si gana, su imagen pública va a ser como creo que mucho más atacada y odiada que si pierde. Porque si pierde, es como, bueno, perdiste, jodete, bueno, ya está, la mandamos a cagar y listo. Pero si gana, es como... Creo que la gente la va a odiar más todavía. Y eso por ahí la va a perjudicar más con la esperanza de poder, qué sé yo, recuperar también su carrera. Pero ¿en serio nunca pensaste en la posibilidad de que pueda ganar?
Lo pensé así como, ¿te imaginas que gana? Pero como quien dice, ¿te imaginas que bajo un alien ahora? Sí. Nunca me lo tomé como una posibilidad real.
No, yo creo que hay tiene chance. Y cuando yo vi ayer lo del titular, fue como, esto puede ser un revés.
Pero ¿vos lo viste en directo cuando dijeron lo del titular?
Sí, ayer.
¿No viste la reacción de Ben Chu?
Sí, miró con cara, ¿qué? ¿Se alegró o qué hizo?
Se alegró. O sea, alguna cuestión buena debe haber ahí, porque es como que se giró y hace... Como festejando que fuera eso.
No vi su reacción.
Es interesante. Si yo me pongo a ver las reacciones de todo el mundo ahí.
Sí, está bien. A mí me encantó la cara que puso cuando cuando Amber nombró a Kate Moss, como diciendo, ¡vamos!
¡Vamos! le falta testigo.
Ahora metemos a la testigo esta.
Gracias, Diego, le faltaba decir, ¿viste?
Claro. En este peor escenario posible, gana Amber.
No va a pasar,
Que no va a pasar. Bueno, pero en este mundo de ciencia ficción, en este final del multiverso, ¿qué podría pasar? ¿Cómo verías vos un Me Too fortalecido? Y bueno, y la imagen del tema de esto, de poder escrachar a cualquiera.
Un Me Too fortalecido no me suena que pueda salir de acá, sinceramente, porque un Me Too fortalecido después de esto es fortalecido artificialmente en contra de viento y marea. No va a haber, o sea, el Me Too tuvo apoyo porque tuvo el apoyo popular, tuvo el apoyo de los medios, y tuvo el apoyo de las industrias, y tuvo todo el apoyo que tuvo, porque tuvo primeramente el apoyo popular. Si gana Amber Heard y esto intentan utilizarlo en favor del movimiento Me Too, no van a tener a la opinión pública en su favor, creo yo. Van a tener a un grupo que sí que evidentemente existe, pero que es bastante reducido, de personas que pues sin criterio, diría yo, directamente. Y esa gente lo que van a lograr al final es que eventualmente... Yo creo que esto sería tan obsceno y tan forzado que terminaría tarde o temprano reventándoles en la cara, y eso finalmente sería algo bueno.
Sí,
Entonces,
reventar tiene que reventar ahora cuando se termine, ya por fin. A ver esto. A ver. Un momento. No, era una grabación. Creí que había salido a hablar la jueza. Dios. No, ahora se acaban de tomar el break del almuerzo. Es la 1 de la tarde en Estados Unidos. Y recién me estaban diciendo que parece que hasta el lunes no va a estar el veredicto.
Ay, Dios mío, cómo nos tienen, ¿eh?
Pero es que ¿qué tanto están deliberando? Al parecer el anuncio que hicieron es que quieren que todo el jurado es Team Johnny, pero que quieren hacerlo lo más políticamente correcto posible. Entonces están en eso, y ahí es donde está el tema. Y si pierde... Ahora, el tema de la ACLU me llama la atención. ¿Qué era la ACLU? ¿Era una asociación de qué?
Es la Asociación de Derechos Civiles, la Asociación Americana de Derechos Civiles, que es la que hizo portavoz a Amber Heard como víctima de violencia doméstica, y a la cual Amber había prometido 3,5 millones, que finalmente terminó donando, creo que fueron 350.000 o 250.000.
Sí, que les dio el novio Elon Musk, que se lo dijo Camil. Se lo dio tu novio. Ay, no sé si era mi novio, dice la otra. Ay, bueno, no sé si era mi novio, no importa.
Además me encantan las caras de Camil, que te dice algo súper heavy, ¿viste? Pero con carita de nada. Ah, your boyfriend did it. Como, no. Sí. But you lied.
Sí. La verdad que la interesa de esa piba, si gana este juicio, si gana este juicio, Camille tiene ya está, su carrera como abogada, no tiene ni 40 años y su carrera como abogada ya va a salvar a todos, van a venir todos los escrachados de Hollywood a pedirle que la defienda.
Hola Camille, sí soy Kevin Spacey.
Claro, llega Kevin Spacey y bueno, ese va a estar un poco más difícil de defender igual, pero bueno. Decir que Johnny tenía más evidencias a su favor, Kevin no.
Ay, Dios mío, sí. Hola,
Ay, Dios.
En el futuro, perdón, hago una premonición. Hola Camille, ¿cómo estás? Sí, soy Will Smith.
Claro, Will Smith. Uf, también, eso también estaría bueno, ¿no? Esa es la próxima historia. ¿Vos qué opinás de eso ahora, así como en síntesis? Porque ahí tenemos, viste, como un paralelismo raro, el tema de Johnny con Amber y el tema de Will Smith con Jada, que estuvo 25 años casado con la tóxica.
A ver, ¿cómo lo digo sin insultos? A ver.
Decilo así, no pasa nada. Hay 1800 personas viendo, no pasa nada.
Jada es una hija de la gran puta.
O sea, Jada es la tóxica.
Sí, claro, ¿te cabe alguna duda? He visto cada cosa de Jada. O sea, yo me enteraba de una cosa y decía, no puede ser. Y me encontraba una peor. Digo, ¿cómo puede ser esta mujer? O sea, es una máquina de joderle la vida a este tipo.
Y él se queda. ¿Por qué se queda un hombre 25 años
bueno, la misma pregunta que nos hacíamos a lo mejor hace 20 años de por qué se queda una mujer maltratada junto a su maltratador. Bueno, por
Claro.
eso, porque el maltrato no es algo que sucede de la noche a la mañana. No es como que hasta hoy estamos perfectos y qué hermosura y que no sé qué, y mañana te doy una paliza o te insulto o lo que sea. No, en el medio, el maltrato de verdad tiene unas características muy concretas donde la persona, en muchos casos, termina siendo absolutamente anulada por el otro. Entonces, de hecho, lo ves cuando la famosa bofetada de los Oscars, ¿no? Que al principio en el chiste Will Smith se reía y todo el mundo puede ver cómo se reía, hasta que vio la cara de Jada, que era de My Dog Step on a Bee, y ahí es donde reaccionó. Y después hay videos de Jada grabando a Will, humillándolo. Bueno, todo esto de que se tiró al amigo del hijo. Dijo en
Eso es
entrevistas
terrible.
que el mejor sexo de su vida no lo tuvo con Will Smith. Y así, O sea, podemos hacer
Sí,
una
de todo, de todo. Que la madre contándolo, la madre es otra bruja, contando lo de, ¿cómo se dice? Lo de que ella se casó y que la pasaron horrible en la boda. Dicen que te están escuchando bajito.
Sí.
Fíjate si acá en el StreamYard no tenés el audio tildado en automático.
Es raro porque además, bueno, no sé, a lo mejor es que tenemos diferentes niveles y la tengo como lo tengo siempre, o sea, no he cambiado nada. A ver,
Bueno,
ahora,
subítelo un poquín.
¿Mejor?
Yo te escucho
Pero
igual, yo te escucho bien. A ver que nos digan ahora la gente. Yo te escucho normal igual.
Bueno. Che, qué cantidad de gente que tenés en directo.
Sí, es que están todos pendientes y no sé qué pasó. Ayer éramos 8000 igual, hoy está tranqui. Pero bueno, sí, intenso se puso la cosa.
Yo ayer
Pasa que
tenía
estamos...
800 y digo, wow, cuánta gente.
Sí, lo bueno es que nada, están llegando, se están suscribiendo. Estoy muy cerquita de los 70.000. Así que...
Pablo, chicos, yo les doy mi sello de aprobación.
Gracias. Si están, todos los que están viendo ahora no están suscritos todavía, me faltan solamente 600 personas para llegar a los 70.000 y me gustaría festejar los 70.000. Igual ahí vivo a la noche también.
Se llega hoy.
Sí, hay que llegar hoy a los 70.000. Sí. Es que Pablo tiene un super... No, sí es lo mismo, se tiene que escuchar bien igual. Me bajo yo el volumen de última. Ahí está.
Igual
ahí
yo no
estamos.
me voy a quedar muchísimo más porque tengo que ir a grabar videíto. Porque si no lo grabo
No,
hoy,
está bien. Vos
llego a grabar.
tenés que grabar también, venís de hacer otro vivo. Pero nada, eso. Bueno, gracias por haberte pasado.
Casi nos metemos colada. Decimos, ¿te imaginas?
Pero y métanse, yo cuando estoy en vivo, si estamos todos acá en el mismo StreamYard, si hubieran mandado las dos, decile que la próxima. La próxima se mandan así, no, totalmente bienvenidas siempre.
Ok, lo voy a tener en cuenta. La próxima
Dale.
Perfecto.
Dale. De una,
Bueno,
te mando un beso.
Con tu precioso directo, seguro que va súper bien. Y chicos, los que no estén. A ver, 1822 personas ahora mismo. Habrá gente que no esté suscrita de los que están acá. Así que todos van abajo, le dan el botoncito rojo, ¿sí? Yo se los recomiendo. De momento es gratis. Hoy estoy permitiendo que suscribirse al canal de Pablo sea gratis. Otro día veré si estoy tan igual de caritativa.
Claro. Gracias, te mando un beso. Síganla, Valen, haces el nombre de su canal. Síganla, que está analizando también todos los días todo esto de la relación tóxica. Habla mucho acerca de casos de maltrato doméstico, pero donde el hombre es la víctima, en la mayoría de los casos que son silenciados por todo el mundo. Bueno, ella toca todos estos temas, así que nada, eso, síganla. Yo la sigo desde hace un montón, desde que todavía vivías acá, de hecho.
Me gusta porque, claro, a vos te une el tema de Johnny, el tema de la cultura popular, las ficciones, etcétera,
Claro.
y a mí me une pues el maltrato.
Claro, el tema de que los hombres, lo que callan los hombres, ¿sabés qué es terrible? Comentaba, bueno, ahora ya te dejo libre, lo de estos experimentos sociales, ¿viste? Donde hay un tipo pegándole una mina en la vía pública y cómo reacciona la gente a cuando la mina le está pegando al tipo. Que no salta nadie a defender al tipo, a querer separarlos. La gente lo filma, se ríe. ¿Cómo cambiamos eso?
En Argentina, pero no fui incapaz de conseguir un amigo que se atreviera a que lo cagaran a puteadas en la calle al hacerlo. Pero si algún día estoy por Argentina de vuelta, podemos salir a grabar ese mismo experimento nosotros.
Está bueno, hasta que nos reconozca alguno de la calle y digan ¡eh!
No, nos vamos a, no sé, nos vamos a Merlo, no sé.
Nos maquillamos, no, bueno, sí salimos de tranqui, apuñalados por ahí, pero tranqui. Pero bueno, dale, de una. Cuando vuelvas a Buenos Aires nos tenemos que juntar.
Genial, perfecto.
Dale.
Bueno, querido,
bueno, te dejo libre, te mando un beso.
Besito, adiós.
Chau, chis. Ahí pasaba Valentina Ortiz. Suscríbanse a su canal, como les dije. Es crack, es crack. Se nota tu tono argentino. Sí, es que el diálogo argento. Vamos, sumen subs, eso, súmense, amigos. Gracias por suscribirse. Gracias a todos los que se están suscribiendo hoy. Y por favor pongan like todos los que están viendo esto. Les recuerdo que a la noche voy a estar en vivo también. Tengo Arcadia Café. Va a ser esta noche a las 23 horas de Argentina. A 10:30, 11 más o menos de Argentina. Vamos a estar hablando un poco de esto. Vamos a estar hablando de otras cosas. Vamos a hablar de noticias. Así que les pido que por favor todos se suscriban, activen la campanita y no se pierdan los videos nuevos. Los videos nuevos que estoy subiendo en el canal todo el tiempo. ¿Ok? Dentro de un rato voy a estar publicando videos sobre la serie de Obi-Wan. Voy a estar también publicando videos sobre la reacción y el análisis del tráiler de la nueva película live action de Pinocho. Voy a estar hablando más sobre el caso de Amber y Johnny Depp. Vamos a estar hablando de Aquaman. Vamos a estar hablando de... ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más tengo que hablar? De Jurassic World. Tengo el video. Ayer fui a la van premiere de Jurassic World. Tengo que publicar el video. Por favor, suscríbanse, activen la campanita y vean los videos. Hablo de películas, hago cobertura de eventos. Voy a estar haciendo unboxings nuevos próximamente de unas figuras nuevas que van a llegar, que están increíbles. Todos los que son frikis, que les gustan estas cosas de nerds, nada, se vienen unboxings de cosas copadas, así que por favor estén pendientes, activen la campanita y vean los videos. No saben cuánto me ayudan con eso. Le quiero dejar un agradecimiento también muy especial a Ravana Stras, gracias por tu superchat. Andrés Gómez, gracias por tu superchat. A Vanessa Belén, muchas gracias por tu superchat. Y a Colina Ficio, muchas gracias por tu superchat. Y también Mr. Gilgalad, gracias por dejar donaciones a través del sistema de superchats, chicos. Muchas gracias, porque gracias a la colaboración de ustedes, el canal puede seguir existiendo. Entonces, si cada uno puede dejar una fichita, por ejemplo, ahora llevamos casi 4 horas de vivo. Si alguien quiere tirar una monedita a través de los superchats o a través de los links que están en la descripción del video, que yo ahora se los voy a dejar en el chat también, ya sea una monedita totalmente a voluntad, es como pasar la gorra cuando terminas de hacer el stand-up en el subte. Muchas gracias, chicos, por haber acompañado, muchas gracias a los que colaboran con el canal, gracias por acompañar. Nos volvemos a encontrar esta noche en Arcadia Café, hablando de cine, de cultura pop, de noticias y demás cosas. Mirá qué dicen acá. Laura Bozzo, la comunicadora peruana, golpeó muchas veces a su pareja llamado Cristian y hasta lo llegó a corretear con un cuchillo. Ella es una mujer violenta. Se la nota en la televisión. ¿Qué pasa, el desgraciado? Yo como me reía con el programa de Laura. Dios mío. ¿Quién ganó? Y el veredicto. No tenemos veredicto todavía, chicos. No tenemos veredicto todavía, es el tercer día de deliberación y esto va a demorar. Muy bien, muchachos. Vamos a ir cortando, nos volvemos a encontrar más tarde, estén pendientes de los nuevos videos. Muchas gracias a todos por haberse pasado hoy. Les mando un beso muy grande. Nos volvemos a encontrar a la noche, por la tarde con videos nuevos y a la noche en directo. Así que estén pendientes, sí, estén pendientes del canal. Gracias a todos los que se suscriban. No se vayan sin poner like, por favor. Llegamos a los 2500 likes antes de irnos. A ver, todos los que están viendo esto, por favor, pongan like. A ver, ¿cuántos likes podemos llegar antes de cortar el vivo? A ver, like. Reventemos el botón de like. Creo que llegamos a los 2500 likes, ¿eh? $2300. Vamos. Esta noche hay jurado, no. Lo del jurado corta a nuestras 6 de la tarde. 6 y media de la tarde de Argentina. Igual, estén atentos y es muy importante que activen la campanita y es muy importante que me sigan en Twitter y en Instagram, que es este @ de acá. Porque si en cualquier momento sale la jueza y avisa de que salió el veredicto o algo así, yo prendo vivo automáticamente y voy a estar en vivo automáticamente. Así que por favor, activen la campanita, así no se pierden cuando esté el veredicto. Bueno, gracias por los besos y los corazones. Bueno, chicos, vamos a ir cortando. Les mando un beso a todos. Muchas gracias por estar. Si gana Amber, el feminismo nadie lo va a bancar y van a aparecer muchas más denuncias falsas, dice Llewellyn. Ojalá que no. ¿Saben qué, chicos? Yo les voy a contar esto para los 1200 que todavía están y que no se van. A mí me pasó. Yo sé lo que es. Que te arruinen la vida con una acusación falsa, no con una denuncia, porque nunca nadie me denunció. Pero sí me hicieron una acusación por internet, por redes sociales, y perdí todo yo. Me tuve que venir a YouTube, me tuve que abrir un canal de YouTube, hacer mi canal, trabajar por mi cuenta. Yo era presentador de eventos, era figura. Me la pasaba entrevistando figuras grandes, presentando shows, laburando con artistas de primer nivel. Conducía toda clase de eventos en la movida friki. Iba invitado a las radios, a los programas. Y de repente me hicieron una campaña en mi contra. Crearon un relato. Y un montón de gente todavía lo sigue esparciendo. Y yo sé lo que es. Por eso yo repudio tanto a las mentirosas. Repudio tanto a las mentirosas como Amber. Como Amber. Gracias. Desde Colombia soy venezolana y eres súper lindo. Bueno, gracias. Muchas gracias, chicos. Es lo peor, chicos, porque de repente hay un montón de gente que no te conoce y que da por sentado... Y que da por sentado que pueda ser cierto lo que dicen de vos. Es una mierda. Es una mierda. Soy mujer y te apoyo, Planeta Arcadia. Vamos, Johnny, desde México. ¡Vamos! Muchas gracias. Bueno, chicos, no se vayan sin poner like, por favor, a la transmisión. Por favor, no dejen de suscribirse. A ver si llegamos a los 69.500. Y nos volvemos a encontrar en vivo esta noche. No me bajen los brazos. La envidia existe, es cierto. El bien también triunfa. Gracias. Desde Vietnam, dice Abel. Saludos hasta Vietnam. Extraño cuando iba a eventos de anime y eras presentador, dice Talia. Wow, hay gente que me recuerda. ¿Quedan guardados estos directos? Dice Noelia. Sí. Me voy a conectar esta noche, LP. Esta noche, por eso es muy importante que te suscribas, que actives la campanita y me sigas en Instagram, porque yo aviso por ahí cada vez que estoy en vivo en YouTube y todo. Y cuando subo videos nuevos también lo aviso por Twitter y por Instagram. Así que gracias, chicos. Por favor, síganme en Twitter y en Instagram. Y sigan a Planeta Arcadia en Instagram también. ¿Ya viste Obi-Wan? Sí, y quiero ir ahora, me voy a ir a grabar video de Obi-Wan y lo voy a publicar esta tarde. Así que es muy importante que sigan el canal. Muy importante. Muy bien, amigos. Ahora sí nos vamos. Les mando un beso a todos. Muchísimas gracias. Dejen de pelear entre ustedes. Empieza temprano esta noche. A las 11 es tarde. 10:30 de Argentina. 22:30 de Argentina como mínimo, chicos. Perdón, porque si no más temprano... Bueno, a las 22 podría ser un esfuerzo. ¿A qué hora les gusta? No les voy a preguntar a qué hora les gustaría. Es cuando yo puedo. Perdón. Pero bueno, voy a intentar hacerlo a las 22 horas. Dale, así tipo 12 de la noche cortamos. Dale. Hola, Wendy. ¡Mua! Te mando un beso. Moisés González se acaba de sumar miembro del canal. Bienvenido y gracias por apoyar el canal. Gracias por apoyar el canal. Muchas gracias. Muy bien, chicos. Nos volvemos a encontrar a la noche. Dale. Les mando un beso a todos. Que tengan un excelente resto del miércoles. Nos volvemos a encontrar por la noche. en Arcadia Café para hablar de todo, del caso de Johnny Amber, de las noticias, de todo lo referido al mundo del cine, la cultura pop, el mundo del entretenimiento, del espectáculo y de todo lo demás, y chismes y todo. Gracias por acompañar, les mando un beso grande, ¡mua! Y que la fuerza los acompañe. Chao.